Chapter 1140. Sigh. Letting out a long sigh, he helplessly nodded and agreed to the tiger's request. All right. Since little tiger has said so, I would be unreasonable if I don't agree. As he spoke, he waved his hand and dragged Lin Ji out of the energy barrier. Go, your daughter is in the Lin family's backyard. From today onwards, I don't want to see the two of you in Lian City. Otherwise, you won't be as lucky as you are today. I knew Brother Lei loves me the most. Seeing Lin Rei agree to his request and let them go, the tiger was excited. Heh, you little guy. Looking at little tiger's cheerful appearance, Lin Rei couldn't help but sigh. How was this a 1,000-year-old beast? It was more like a 4 or 5-year-old child. However, Lin Rei didn't do it entirely because of little tiger. When he came to Lin Ruoxi's memory, he found that she didn't touch anyone from the Lin family. Even Lin Ji was subdued by her, and she didn't kill him. It was because of this that Lin Rei gave her parents a chance. Otherwise, most likely, as soon as he captured them, Lin Li would have crushed them into pieces, much less released them. Bang bang bang. Hearing Lin Rei's words, Lin Ji kowtowed a few times, thanked him, and rushed to the backyard. As for his family and friends, they weren't as important as his daughter in his eyes. After Lin Ji left, Lin Rei shifted his gaze to the remaining people. To be honest, Lin Rei didn't intend to kill them all. The people he killed before were only the people who killed the Lin family. Looking at the remaining people, although they belonged to another branch of the Lin family, they were still clansmen of the same bloodline as him. I know you're unhappy, but there's no other way. Who asked you to not be as strong as me? So, this is the price you should pay. Don't worry, I won't come knocking on your door. But, you should pay a price. Boom, kacha kacha, his cultivation was released in an instant and rushed to the dantian of everyone present. In the next moment, cracking sounds could be heard. Every time a cracking sound came from a person's body, that person's face would turn pale and powerless, and his body would collapse to the ground. Almost instantly, all the cultivators present who were originally full of vitality had their cultivations completely crippled by Lin Rei the moment Lin Rei released his cultivation. He could only be an ordinary person for the rest of his life. It was impossible for him to cultivate again, unless there was a staple that was willing to use his lifetime of cultivation to reforge his golden core. Otherwise, in the Heaven's Fate realm, aside from him and the Scarlet Tiger, there was only Tendo. As for the rest, he really didn't know. Feeling that their cultivation was crippled, some people couldn't accept it. They hurriedly raised their heads and wanted to explain. But when they saw Lin Rei's ice-cold gaze, they immediately swallowed their words. They lowered their heads again and had an expression that said, I was wrong. As for the remaining people who wanted to resist, they were basically like the first man. The moment they saw Lin Rei's gaze, all of them withered. They didn't have the guts. Now that their cultivation was crippled, if they still didn't know what was good for them, the only thing left was death. As the saying goes, a bad life is better than a good death. Even if they lost their cultivation and couldn't cultivate again in this lifetime, with the wealth collected by the Lin family, they wouldn't have to worry about food and clothing for the rest of their lives. Life, old age, sickness, and death weren't that terrifying. Of course, it also depended on one's state of mind. Some people didn't think that way. Seeing everyone's silent appearance, Lin Rei smiled and said, Don't worry, as people of the same clan, I won't do anything to you. As for this Lin family residence, you can figure out what to do in the future. This will be your shelter in the future. What? You mean to say that this residence is given to us? Lin Rei's words caused the people from the other bloodline to be in disbelief. He even meant that the place that they had fought so hard for was not even worth a mention in the eyes of the man in front of them. How ironic. How ironic. They had painstakingly spent so much effort to build this house, but now, thinking about everything that they had done in the past, it was simply too laughable. All right, since you've already paid the price, from today onwards, you're the masters of the Lin family. Remember, the Lin family's reputation doesn't come from being tyrannical. If you continue to be tyrannical like before, you won't be far from being destroyed. That's all I have to say. Figure out what to do on your own. Then, without waiting for anyone to react, he turned around and picked up the scarlet flame tiger. His figure instantly disappeared from the Lin family residence. Lin Rei's body instantly appeared at the gate of Lian City. He turned around and looked at the city behind him. He sighed with emotion in his heart. Goodbye, Lian City. In the end, this city could only become a beautiful place in his memories. Brother Lei, where are we going next? Of course we're going to save people and leave this place. Do you want to live in this state forever? He glared at Little Tiger. However, Lin Rei did not expect Little Tiger's next words to make him completely helpless. It doesn't matter. As long as I can be with Brother Lei, this state is fine too. Ignoring Little Tiger's words, Lin Rei released his divine sense. Everything within a radius of 10,000 miles appeared in his mind. Heh, little brat, you're quite good at hiding. Looking at the place where Fourth Uncle was in his mind, Lin Rei found it funny. Looking at that place, he teleported and instantly disappeared from the gate of Lian City. He left quietly, without a single cloud in his wake. It was as though he had never appeared. No one noticed Lin Li's presence. In the east of Lian City, in front of a cave, the space distorted. In the next moment, Lin Rei's figure walked out from the distorted space. This is the place. Lowering his head, Xiao Chen looked at the cave below. This was the place where his family was being held captive. Taking a step forward, Xiao Chen arrived at the cave in an instant. He released his divine sense. Aside from his family, there was also a strong aura, 2 martial kings. No wonder Grandpa was captured. It turns out that there are martial kings. Xiao Chen walked into the cave. The cave was not big. After all, it was just a place to be held captive. Thus, it did not look very well built. Who is it? The 2 martial kings, who were resting, immediately opened their eyes when they heard movement at the entrance. They released their cultivation and shouted at the entrance. The moment they shouted, the remaining subordinates naturally gathered together. They drew their sabers and aimed them at the entrance of the cave. They looked like they were prepared to charge at any moment. Lin Rei was very clear about the situation in the cave. However, these things were not enough to stop him. Even if Lin Rei stood there and let them hack at him, they might not be able to kill him in 100 years. No, 1,000 years. Chapter 1141. Under the gazes of the crowd, Lin Rei slowly walked forward with a bottle of wine in his hand. From time to time, he would take a sip as he appeared before the crowd. Oh, you're all here? Seeing everyone's gazes on him, Lin Li chuckled. He came to a halt, turning his head to look around. Finding a fairly clean rock, he sat down on it. However, Lin Rei's actions appeared very arrogant, domineering, and unfathomable in the eyes of the crowd. This included the Lin family members in the cage behind the 2 martial kings. They felt that the Lin Rei who came in was very familiar, but they did not know where they had seen him before. Who are you? Why are you here? One of the 2 martial kings spoke. It seemed that he was the person in charge here. Gudong. A mouthful of wine entered his stomach. He lowered his head to look at the person who spoke. Seeing the crowd's expectant gazes, Lin Rei pretended to be deep in thought. Then, he came back to his senses and spoke. I, release the people behind you. This sovereign will not be ruthless. Otherwise, they will all die. When he spoke, his voice was filled with coldness. There was no trace of the lazy appearance he had before. At this moment, Lin Rei was like a fierce beast that had fallen into a deep slumber. Now that he had awakened, he had an aura that could rival all living things. Hearing Lin Rei's words, the martial king turned his head to look at the crowd behind him. He said thoughtfully, "What relationship do you have with them?" Although he did not want to have any relationship with them, the moment the man spoke, he asked him to release the people behind him. This made him suspect that there was a relationship between them. "Old man, I'm here to bring you home." Ignoring the Martial King's words, Linley turned his head and looked through the crowd at the old man locked up in the cage. Lin Ray liked this grandfather of his very much. Back then, when he secretly left home, he thought that he would be beaten up when he returned. He did not expect that the old man would suppress him and even beat up his own father. "What? You are?" The old man was full of confusion. He was sure that he had never seen the young man in front of him before, but from his tone, it seemed that they were very familiar with each other. Also, there were only a few people in the Lin family who called him Old Master. He really couldn't think of anyone. Looking at the young man, the old man opened his mouth. "Young man, this old man doesn't remember having any interaction with you before." "Why? Don't tell me you don't recognize me?" Looking at the old man, Lin Ray pretended to be heartbroken. He knew that his appearance had changed, and his age was different. That was why the old man was so confused. The conversation between the two completely ignored the two Martial Kings. The anger in the two Martial Kings' hearts continued to surge until they could no longer hold it in. "Bastard, I asked you a question and you ignored me. Do you really think that I don't dare to kill you?" As he spoke, he instantly released his Martial King cultivation. Alas! Looking at the man, Lin Ray was speechless. Why were there so many people courting death? There was nothing he could do. He originally wanted to let him wait a little longer, but now, it's not a good thing to be hot-tongued. "I hope you'll understand in your next life." After speaking, without waiting for the crowd to react, Lin Ray, who was originally sitting on the rock, disappeared. Poochie. When Lin Ray reappeared, he was in front of the cage. As for the person who was hot-tongued and said he wanted to kill someone, he was standing there in a daze. The aura of a Martial King disappeared without a trace. How is this possible? When the crowd came back to their senses, they were all shocked by this scene. They had never thought that such a scene would happen. Seeing Lin Ray appear, the old man was even more confused. He was sure that the young man in front of him was here to save him, but he really didn't know him. Questions appeared in his heart one after another. In the end, he couldn't explain himself. In the end, he could only shut his mouth and wait for the other party to tell him everything. Plop. The Martial King, who was originally standing there, was now lying on the ground. Scarlet blood flowed out from his mouth and dyed the ground red. Seeing the Martial King in such a state, everyone's complexion turned pale and they couldn't help but tremble. "Run, run, run." At that moment, some people came back to their senses. Their original arrogance and despotism disappeared. What was left was fear and the thought of leaving this place as soon as possible. After the sound of fleeing rang out, apart from the Martial King, the rest of the people rushed out of the cave. They didn't want to stay here for even a second longer. They were afraid that in the next moment, they would end up like the Martial King who was lying on the ground. Hot-tongued. Seeing the way the crowd fled, Lin Ray frowned. He waved his hand and sealed the entrance of the cave with spiritual energy. Then, he sealed the crowd in a quiet formation. This scene shocked the crowd once again. However, the remaining Martial King was now regretting it. His expression was full of fear. He stood in place and didn't escape, nor did he make any sound. It wasn't that he didn't want to leave, but he didn't dare. Just by looking at the cold sweat on his forehead, one could tell that he was afraid. Kacha! A crisp sound echoed throughout the entire cave. The lock that had locked the cage had disappeared, and the door to the cage opened. "Old man, how do you want to deal with these people?" Lin Ray opened the door to the cage and asked the old man. "What? Let me decide?" The old man was shocked. He had seen how powerful the person in front of him was. Now that he was asked to make a decision, he was flattered. "Old man, I am Lin Ray. I am your grandson. Don't tell me you really don't recognize me?" Looking at the old man, Lin Ray said his name. What? Lin Ray? Impossible. I know Ray, but your appearance and age don't match with Ray's. How could you? The old man questioned. Not only the old man, but the rest of the Lin family didn't believe that the Lin Ray in front of them was the one they knew. Looking at the confused faces of the crowd, Lin Ray choked on his words. He sighed and shook his head with a bitter smile. There was nothing he could do. His age and appearance were indeed different from before. All right, since you don't believe me, then your son and daughter-in-law should know each other. What? The old man didn't understand what Lin Ray meant. However, in the next moment, Lin Ray waved his hand and Lin Feng and Hui Yun appeared in front of the Lin family. Everyone was stunned. Feng Yun Looking at the two people who suddenly appeared, Master Lin cried out in surprise. Indeed, although he didn't know Lin Ray, his son and daughter-in-law's appearance hadn't changed. He could still recognize them. Father. Hearing the voice behind them, Lin Feng and Hui Yun turned around. The moment they saw the old man, their bodies trembled. They stepped in front of the old man and knelt on the ground, greeting him softly. Chapter 1142. Is it really you? Feng Tears welled up in the old man's eyes uncontrollably. As the saying goes, men bleed but don't cry. It's only because they haven't been hurt. The old man used to be a veteran of the battlefield. He led an army to defend against an entire country's attack. Now, he was crying his eyes out. It's me. Your son has returned. I'm sorry. Your son is unfilial. I've made you worry for so many years. He hugged his body and buried his head in the old man's chest. Tears flowed uncontrollably. At this moment, he was sobbing uncontrollably. To the side, Hui Yun understood that the father and son had not seen each other for a long time. There had been news of his son's death, but now that his son had come back from the dead and appeared in front of him, the old man was able to remain calm. Fortunately, the two of them restrained themselves. After all, they were in an illusion. They had no choice but to stop reminiscing about the past. After crying for a while, the two of them separated. However, their eyes never left each other. Seeing the old man like this, Lin Ray couldn't help but smile bitterly. He didn't respond and just waited quietly. Now that his mission was completed, it was up to the old man to decide what to do with the other bloodline. No matter what the old man said, Lin Ray would definitely show no mercy and kill everyone from the other bloodline. However, he was afraid that the old man would be soft-hearted. It's good that you're back. Looking at Lin Feng, the old man finally spat out these words. After saying that, he looked at Lin Ray. Now, he truly believed that the young man before him was his grandson, Lin Ray. However, looking at Lin Ray's appearance, the old man still didn't dare to believe it. In just a few years, his grandson's cultivation had improved greatly. However, his appearance had changed so much. He was sure that if they were walking on the street, Roa Lin and Lin Ray didn't speak, they would pass by each other and treat each other as familiar strangers. You brat, you haven't returned for so many years. Now that you're back, even your appearance has changed. Tell me, what should we do about this? The old man asked. Although his words sounded like he was questioning Lin Ray, from the doting look on the old man's face, he understood what he really meant. Seeing the old man like this, Lin Ray smiled bitterly. Old man, it's not that I don't want to come back. It's just that there are some things that I haven't settled yet, so I can't come back. Well. As she spoke, she turned to Lin Feng. Didn't I bring my dad back? I brought back a son for you, and now your grandson is back. Tell me, are you happy? Happy. Lin Ray's words made the old man unable to refute, but he was truly happy. Now that his son, who had been used for many years, had returned, and his grandson was standing in front of him safe and sound, what else could he be dissatisfied with? Hey, guys, are you done yet? Hurry up and settle the matter at hand. The scarlet flame tiger in Lin Rei's arms looked at this harmonious scene and felt a little sour in its heart. It was as if it was jealous that the old man had snatched away its brother Lei. Who's talking? The scarlet flame tiger's voice interrupted everyone. The old man's gaze left Lin Rei and looked around, as if trying to find the person who spoke. The old man didn't know. The Lin family didn't know, but Lin Feng and Huiyun knew who the person was. The two looked at the scarlet flame tiger and shook their heads helplessly. Father, the person who spoke just now was Rei's friend, the scarlet flame tiger. Pointing at the scarlet flame tiger, Lin Feng slowly said. What? As he spoke, he looked at the direction where Lin Feng was pointing. When he saw the scarlet flame tiger in Lin Rei's arms, the old man was stunned. Then he frowned and looked at Lin Feng with an expression that said, Feng, we haven't seen each other for many years. You've learned how to make fun of your father, right? I didn't, really. Halfway through his words, he suddenly stopped and looked at Lin Rei. He understood that if he didn't really see it, the old man would never believe him. Therefore, only by letting the old man see it clearly would he be able to make him believe him completely. Looking at his father's expression, Lin Rei didn't understand what he meant. He turned his head to look at the old man and said, Old man, my father is right. Xiao Hu, say a few words for the old man. Afraid that the old man wouldn't believe him, he lowered his head and let the scarlet flame tiger speak. Damn, brother Lei, I'm your beast, not a monkey on the mountain. If you do this, won't your heart hurt? Looking at Lin Rei, it complained as if it had been wronged. Hearing the scarlet flame tiger's words, the old man completely believed Lin Feng's words. Looking at the scarlet flame tiger, the old man didn't have any other thoughts other than shock. Even a demonic beast could speak. This made his view of the world refreshed. All right, old man, how should we deal with these people? Seeing the old man in a daze, Lin Rei once again asked for instructions. Time was nothing to Lin Rei, but Lin Rei didn't want to waste any more time on this matter. Lin Rei's words made Lin Feng and Huiyun, who had been paying attention to the old man, react. Just now, they were only thinking about the old man and didn't notice that they were in a cave. Moreover, who were those people at the entrance? One question after another arose in Lin Feng and Huiyun's hearts. Dad, didn't I ask you about the other bloodline before? These people are from the other bloodline. Lin Rei saw the doubt in Lin Feng's expression clearly. Now that everything had been settled, it didn't matter if they knew. What? The other bloodline? Contrary to Lin Rei's expectations, Lin Feng wasn't as calm as he had imagined, and spoke out in shock. Huiyun was even more so. Her gaze fell on the people at the entrance of the cave, and her expression changed. That's right. Just now, after returning to the Lin family, Lin Rei opened his mouth and told them everything that had happened after returning to the Lin family. Just like that, I originally wanted to kill them directly, but then I remembered that they were from the same clan, so I only killed those who attacked. So that's how it is. After listening to Lin Rei's story, the old man had a look of understanding. Now, he knew what had happened. His gaze fell on the other bloodline at the entrance of the cave, and the murderous look on his face instantly disappeared. The old man's gentle and benevolent expression reappeared on his face. Rei, since the other bloodline has already received the price they deserve, then let's just forget about this matter. After all, we are from the same clan. Although establishing the Lin family is only a temporary separation, we still have the bloodline of the Lin family. If revenge breeds revenge, will there ever be an end to it? Take a step back and you'll see the world. You're going to let us go? The old man didn't hide his words from the martial king and the remaining disciples of the other bloodline. However, the old man's decision seemed so inconceivable to them. When they thought about what they had done to the Lin family, they never thought that the old man would make such a decision. Chapter 1143. What's wrong? You don't want to let you go? Sure. If you don't want to, I can kill you all, the old man said. Forget about it. The martial king who spoke was stunned for a moment before quickly replying. Who would be willing to die? Especially when he was a martial king. Why would he want to die? That's it then. The old man couldn't help but roll his eyes at the martial king's reaction and let him experience it for himself. You're really letting us go? The martial king confirmed once again. It wasn't that he didn't believe it, but the matter of Phase 2-4 was too unimaginable. It could even be said that it was beyond his imagination because this matter wouldn't have happened to anyone else. The old man didn't want to speak anymore. There was no need. However, the old man had already decided that if he asked again, he would immediately change his mind. Hurry up and scram. Remember, from today onwards, if you dare to bully the weak, you'll end up like him, Lin Ray quickly said, understanding the old man's helplessness. However, Lian City was his hometown after all, so he didn't want to be messed up by people from another branch. Yes. Looking at the dead state of his fellow clansmen, the man was terrified and broke out in cold sweat. Looking at the corpses of his fellow clansmen, the man silently swore in his heart that he would follow Lin Ray's orders in the future. He would definitely not be like before, where he would definitely root out the strong and help the weak, and no longer bully others. Good, I'll keep an eye on you. If anything good happens to you, I'll reconsider whether or not to exterminate your branch. Saying that, he waved his hand. Scram, remember this sovereign's words. After saying that, Lin Ray didn't say anything else. When the martial king received Lin Ray's order, it was as if he had been granted amnesty. He scrambled out of the cave with his subordinates and left as quickly as possible. He swore that he would never come back to this cave in his life. To others, this might be a refuge, but to him, this was his nightmare, a nightmare that he would never be able to erase in his life. Lin Ray released his divine sense over the entire mountain. After confirming that there was an opening in the other bloodline, he withdrew his divine sense. Good boy, I haven't seen you for a few years and you've changed so much. You've changed so much that even your fourth uncle doesn't recognize you anymore. Within the crowd, fourth uncle Lin Hai took a step forward and punched Lin Ray in the chest. See, what are you doing? The old master scolded Linley. Then, the old master came to Linley's side with a worried look on his face. Ray, are you alright? Your fourth uncle doesn't know how to control his strength. Sanji, take a look. As he spoke, the old man tried to pry open Lin Ray's clothes as if he wanted to check his injuries. This. The old man's actions really made Lin Ray quiver. He didn't expect his grandfather to be like this. If it was before, that's not right. Even if he hadn't returned to his original body, his physical body would have been able to withstand that punch, let alone now that he had returned to his original body. Even if Lin Hai used a knife to cut him, he wouldn't be able to kill him from such a distance. He leaned forward and avoided the old man's hands. Then, he responded with a bad mood, Grandfather, don't joke around. With fourth uncle's strength, let alone injure me, even if I stood there and did nothing, fourth uncle still wouldn't be able to kill me. Lin Ray wasn't joking about this. Oh right, Dad, I'll go out and get you guys something to eat. You guys chat first. As he spoke, the old man and the others didn't react. He took a step forward and disappeared from everyone's sight. This boy is still shy. Looking in the direction Lin Ray left, Huiyun smiled. Others might not know, but as his mother, how could she not understand? All right, father, let Ray go. Seeing his son leave, Lin Feng quickly stepped forward and interrupted the old man's thoughts. As for Lin Hai, he couldn't help but smile bitterly. He was even more curious about Lin Ray's cultivation. Just what kind of realm was he in to be able to do this? However, he quickly threw this thought to the back of his mind. Because no matter how much he changed, he couldn't change the fact that he was his nephew. After thinking it through, he came to the old man's side and began to listen to Lin Feng talk about his experiences over the years. Outside the cave, Lin Ray rushed out and came to the top of the cave. Looking at the scenery in the distance, a smile appeared on his face. I can finally leave. As he spoke, he communicated with the little dragon. Little dragon, I need to return to the God realm. Is there any way to get there in the shortest time? Although he had returned to his original form, if he wanted to return to the God realm from the Destiny realm, it would take too much time just by flying. He didn't have the time. Not only that, he didn't have much time left. He had 1,000 years to enter the holy world. The remaining time was not enough for him to return to the God realm. Therefore, the only thing he could rely on now was the little dragon. Of course, it was fine if he didn't know about the formation. However, he was afraid that if he took out something of a high level, it wouldn't be accepted by this realm. Moreover, the time needed to set up a starry sky teleportation formation was massive. It wasn't something that could be done with a wave of the hand. More importantly, he didn't know about the starry sky teleportation formation in the God realm. Therefore, the two couldn't be connected at all. Even if he set it up, it would be useless. Swish. As soon as Lin Ray finished speaking, the little dragon's figure rushed out of the system and appeared in front of Lin Ray. It floated in the air in front of Lin Ray and looked at Lin Ray with an amused smile on its face. I knew you would have a day like this. Cut the crap. Hurry up and say it. What's the solution? The starry sky teleportation formation. It can allow you to reach the God realm in a short time and it won't affect you at all. What? He lifted his head and looked at the little dragon. The starry sky teleportation formation requires a massive amount of time. Moreover, I didn't set up a teleportation location in the God realm. Who knows where it will teleport to if it succeeds? Moreover, didn't you say that the holy world is already in chaos? If that's the case, who will be responsible for the time wasted? Moreover, there isn't much time left for the 1,000-year mission. Seeing Lin Ray's anxious expression, a smile appeared on the little dragon's face. And when Lin Ray saw the little dragon's smile, he vaguely had a bad premonition in his heart. TSK, if that's the case, then there's only one solution left. The little dragon said. What solution? Hurry up and say it. Lin Ray said anxiously. Can't we just go to the system store and buy the starry sky teleportation formation to the God realm directly? Since it's convenient and fast, why not? The system store. Originally, Lin Ray was waiting expectantly for the little dragon's answer. But when the little dragon gave the solution, he was dumbfounded. He didn't want to go to the system to buy it, so he asked the little dragon. If he bought it directly from the system, he wouldn't need to waste his breath. Apart from the system, is there really no other way? Lin Ray questioned again, still holding on to a sliver of hope in his heart. No, give up. Now, only the system can fulfill your conditions. Chapter 1144. The little dragon's meaning was very clear, and Lin Ray had no other thoughts other than helplessness. Forget it, since that's the case, I'll just go directly to the system and buy it. After thinking it through, Lin Ray stopped looking for trouble. Of course, he couldn't deny that the little dragon and the system had their own ambitions. After all, he had cheated a lot of good things from the little dragon and the system before. After thinking it through, Lin Ray didn't hesitate and entered the system space. He muttered in his heart and called out the shop interface. As soon as Lin Ray's voice fell, a bright light appeared in the originally dark space. Suddenly, a door-like existence appeared in Lin Ray's line of sight. Walala, when the door appeared, it suddenly split in the middle and opened to two sides. The moment the door opened, the sound of bottles colliding with each other entered Lin Ray's ears. Looking at the dazzling lineup of high-quality goods in front of his eyes, he hadn't seen this scene for a long time. It had to be said that Lin Ray more or less missed this shop. After all, this shop had saved his life several times. If it wasn't for the fact that he had to buy escape treasures and pills from the shop, he probably wouldn't have appeared in this destiny realm safe and sound. Congratulations to the host for returning to the system. The system's cold electronic voice entered Lin Ray's ears and suddenly woke Lin Ray up. Ding, what does the host want to buy? The system will serve you wholeheartedly. F***ck, hearing the system's words, Lin Ray was stunned for a moment. What the hell is going on? I don't think I've ever imagined such a scene before. Serve you wholeheartedly? Heh, please don't. As long as you don't scold me, I'll be thankful. Although Lin Ray had a lot of doubts in his heart, when he thought about what he wanted to do, Lin Ray didn't have the heart to let his imagination run wild for a moment. Raising his head to look at the pitch-black sky, Lin Li told her about his trip to the system. I want to return to the realm of the gods, and I want to return directly to the Celestial Dragon Mountain's mysterious sect. Do you have any ideas? After saying this, Lin Ray felt that it was a bit unnecessary. If the system didn't have a way, he wouldn't have come in. However, since he had already said it, there was no reason to take it back. Yes. The system blurted out the clear and concise words. It didn't care about Lin Ray's question from before. Ding, the system is retrieving goods for the host, please wait. As soon as the system's voice sounded, the goods in front of him, the goods, began to become blurred. As time passed, the goods completely disappeared. This system always likes to do things like this. Why don't you just say it directly? Why do you have to do all this nonsense? Lin Ray only dared to say this in his heart. If it was on the surface, Lin Ray wouldn't dare to say this. Thinking back to the time when he said some extreme words, he had experienced the system's punishment. Although it didn't kill him, it was still possible for him to be seriously injured. Although he had broken through to the sage realm, Lin Ray still didn't dare to challenge the system's dignity. Time slowly passed, and the blurriness of the goods' disappearance appeared again. After a while, the originally empty shop was once again filled with a dazzling array of goods. However, these goods weren't like the bottles and jars from before. Starry Sky Teleportation Array, set up with shocking power, 1,600 types of materials, 106,000 array formations, has the power of directional teleportation. Its effect is very obvious. F***ck, this array formation, I'm afraid that I can't draw it out now. 109,000 types of combination array formations. Mother****, just the combination array formation alone would take more than 10 or 20 years. Who would set up this kind of useless array formation for no reason? The most excessive thing is the directional array. So, the indefinite array is suitable for trash. Looking at the Starry Sky Teleportation Array and the manufacturing method, Lin Ray couldn't help but click his tongue. F***ck. 87, 6 million exchange points. Lin Ray was already drunk when he saw the manufacturing method of the Starry Sky Teleportation Array. However, when he saw the exchange points for the Starry Sky Teleportation Array, Lin Ray was completely dumbfounded. Looking at the number of points, Lin Ray only felt his heart tighten, and blood couldn't stop dripping. Mother****, is this a robbery? After coming back to his senses, Lin Ray started nagging again and decisively gave up on this method of going back. First of all, it wasn't that he didn't have the money, but that he didn't need this array formation. First of all, this array formation was a directional teleportation array. Although it was also compatible, the Xuanzong sect didn't have the mark of a Starry Sky Teleportation Array, so even if Lin Ray wanted to buy it, it wouldn't work. And the system seemed to have had enough of Lin Ray's nagging. If you think it's expensive, don't buy it. You don't have to choose this. You can choose other types. Pauper. I was just thinking about that. What? Pauper? When he was about to choose other types, the system's words completely ignited Lin Ray. Lin Ray admitted that he was poor, but he didn't like it when others called him poor, and in such a blatant way. What was the system trying to do? Provoking. Ding, if the host doesn't admit to being poor, then buy the Starry Sky Teleportation Array. If you don't want to buy it, then don't be so shameless like a man. The system opened its mouth, and its words didn't hide its provocative tone. A real man doesn't fight with the system. I'm a cultured saint. Don't be angry, right? Don't be angry. He forcibly suppressed the anger in his heart. After calming down, Lin Ray didn't linger on this matter. Instead, he looked at other options. One-way teleportation array, an independent teleportation array, 50 million exchange points. This is not bad. Looking at the teleportation array, Lin Ray couldn't help but say. However, his eyes didn't linger on the one-way teleportation array for long. He looked at other options again. Passage to the Holy Land, extra-dimensional teleportation, God's Shadow, Tendo teleportation. One by one, the items appeared in front of Lin Ray. Lin Ray remembered them all in his mind. Until the last item, Lin Ray didn't make a decision. It wasn't that Lin Ray didn't want to buy it, and it wasn't that he had a choice. It was that the system didn't have that many exchange points. Among the teleportation items he looked at just now, the best one cost more than 290 million, and the worst was the second one-way teleportation array. This was the cheapest one, and it was within Lin Ray's range of tolerance. What should I do? Thinking about what he saw just now, Lin Ray was a little conflicted. He didn't know which method he should choose to go back. In the system space where the little dragon was, Lin Ray's actions were all exposed to the little dragon's eyes. So, how could the little dragon not understand Lin Ray's actions? This guy, after so many years, his choice is still so bad. It's just a teleportation array. Is there a need to be like this? The little dragon didn't understand, but Lin Ray didn't understand either. It was indeed just a teleportation array, but he was so conflicted. Chapter 1145. Time passed bit by bit as Lin Ray struggled. He only knew that the blazing sun in the sky was now slowly moving towards the west. The system, in the space where the little dragon was, looked at Lin Ray's silence and finally couldn't help but say, I say, you little brat, hurry up. It's already so late, are you going to choose or not? Isn't it just a small spell formation? Why don't you spend some time doing something more meaningful? Lin Ray was speechless. The little dragon's voice brought him back to reality. He looked up at the shop, and finally his gaze fell on the cheapest single-direction teleportation spell formation. 6 million, not bad, within an acceptable range. Looking at the single-direction teleportation spell formation, Lin Ray nodded in satisfaction. You've decided? Seeing Lin Ray smile, the little dragon asked. Yes, I've decided. Saying so, he looked up at the sky and said, System, I want to purchase a single-direction teleportation spell formation. Ding, does the host confirm to purchase a single-direction teleportation spell formation? Yes. Ding, the system confirms again. Does the host confirm to purchase a single-direction teleportation spell formation? Lin Ray was speechless. Seeing the system dilly-dallying, Lin Ray rolled his eyes and confirmed, Yes, I want to purchase a single-direction teleportation spell formation. Why can't I? Or, this kind of teleportation spell formation can't send me to the Xuanzong Sect in one direction? Yes. 2 words, concise and clear. Ding, purchasing a single-direction teleportation spell formation, please wait a moment. Hearing the system's prompt, Lin Ray was relieved. Since he could reach the Xuanzong Sect, 50 million was fine. The system was silent. Lin Ray's mind moved and he exited the system. His figure disappeared from the mountain peak. He originally came out to look for meat, but because of his choice, he wasted so much time. He didn't know how to explain it when he returned. Within the forest, Lin Ray's figure was like a ghost as he shuttled back and forth without a trace. At the same time as he was teleporting, he had an extra 10 li long rabbit in his hand. There were so many people in the cave, and if there were any large demonic beasts here, he could only make do with numbers. Ding! Congratulations to host for successfully purchasing a single-direction teleportation circle and storing it in the purchasing system. Ding! Due to the host's one-time expenditure of 50 million, the system grants one chance at the lottery. Lin Ray, who was originally shuttling through the forest, came to an abrupt halt the moment he heard the system notification. His entire being was in a hazy state. If 50 million was the reward for a lucky draw, then why didn't the system give him a lucky draw when he bought so many things before? Ding! As the host has been away from the main body for too long, the system will reward you accordingly. Lin Ray was speechless. Hearing this, Lin Ray was speechless. So it was because he had been away from his body for too long. Since the teleportation circle was already in his hands, he could leave this age of chaos after eating this meal. Thinking about how he was about to leave, an excited smile appeared on his face. There was pitifully little spiritual energy here, and his wife and children weren't here. He missed his 2 women in the divine realm. I wonder how that brat Lin Yun is managing the sect. Is that stinking brat Lin Shan still wandering around outside? I wonder if that last Xian is still in the sect. How is her cultivation? Thinking about his 3 children, Lin Ray's desire to return home became even stronger. He couldn't wait to activate the teleportation circle and return to the Xuanzong sect to reunite with them. Forget it, let's not think about it anymore. Shaking his head, Lin Ray threw all these thoughts to the back of his mind. He lowered his head and looked at the prey in his hand. Feeling that it was enough, Lin Ray didn't stay and returned to the cave. In the cave, Lin Feng and the others were chatting enthusiastically, especially the old man. He didn't know what he heard, but his laughter could be described as loud and clear. It didn't seem like he had just escaped. Tap, tap, just as Lin Feng and the others were chatting happily, the sound of footsteps entered everyone's ears. Suddenly, the laughter disappeared and everyone looked in the direction of the cave's entrance. Lin Ray's figure appeared in everyone's line of sight. Everyone was stunned, especially when they saw Lin Ray holding the wild beast in his hand. Some of the Lin family members, who were good when they were hungry, had sinister expressions on their faces. It was as if the wild beast in Lin Ray's hand was already cooked. They looked like they wanted to rush up and eat him alive. By one. I'll be able to eat it soon. Just wait for a while. Seeing the looks in everyone's eyes, Linley understood. He spoke out, stopped, and began to deal with the matter. With the spirit purification technique, he didn't need to go to places with water to deal with these wild beasts. A small knife appeared in his hand and he grabbed one of the wild beasts. Lin Ray began his magnificent performance. He dissected the wild beasts as fast as lightning, causing everyone to be stunned. Before anyone could react, a wild beast had already been dealt with. TSK, Ray's speed is simply too fast. Seeing his grandson's method of dealing with wild beasts, the old man smacked his lips and had a look of admiration. More than a dozen wild beasts were dealt with by Lin Ray in less than 2 minutes. Under everyone's gaze, Lin Ray ignored everyone's gazes as if he was the only person in the cave. With a thought, he took out all the seasonings from his storage ring and began to add seasonings to the wild beasts. The fragrance filled the entire cave. There was no place that didn't have this fragrance. Although it hadn't been roasted yet, it made everyone drool. Tang! A blood-red flame jumped out of Lin Ray's hand in front of everyone's eyes. Sizzle, sizzle. The wild beast was on fire. Suddenly, a sizzling sound entered everyone's ears. At this moment, a different fragrance completely filled everyone's surroundings. It's done. Almost instantaneously, the wild beast was taken out by Lin Ray just as it was on fire. He even claimed that it was done roasting. What? It's done. Seeing Lin Ray's actions, the old man and the Lin family exclaimed loudly. Everyone's reaction really scared Lin Ray. Yes, it's done. What else do you want? Lin Ray retorted. One had to know that he was using the illusory spirit blood fire to roast the meat. This kind of flame was a very high existence. If it wasn't for Lin Ray's powerful ability to control the flame, this kind of wild beast would probably be evaporated by the illusory spirit blood fire before it touched. No, it didn't even need to touch the illusory spirit blood fire before it was completely evaporated by the illusory spirit blood fire. If anyone who had suffered under the illusory spirit blood fire saw Lin Ray using the illusory spirit blood fire to roast the meat, they would be so angry that they would want to kill Lin Ray. Let me try it first. While everyone was shocked and in disbelief, a voice entered everyone's ears. Then, a figure came in front of Lin Ray, took the meat in Lin Ray's hand, and took a bite. This is too delicious. Chapter 1146. Perhaps it was because Lin Ray ate too much that everyone's appetites were piqued. Now that they had a chance to test the waters, they didn't stop eating. One by one, they came to Lin Ray's side to receive the cooked food. Just like that, everyone wolfed down the delicious food. However, Lin Ray couldn't help but smile bitterly when he saw the Lin family's eager expressions. He understood that everyone in the Lin family was starving. Moreover, they wanted to roast the meat just now. It was inevitable that they would want to continue. However, there were no more wild beasts. If they wanted to eat more, they would have to go out and catch more. Lin Ray didn't want to waste time on this. When he thought about his home in the God realm, he didn't want to wait a moment longer. Let's roast the meat here. As he spoke, he looked at Lin Feng and Lin Feng. Father, did you tell grandfather and the others about leaving? Yes, I did. Lin Feng nodded. Don't worry. Grandfather said that you can make the decision. Since the Lin family has already become like this, it's better to leave. Hearing this, Grandfather Lin hurriedly added, Ray, father is right. There is no place for us in the Lin family. Since you want to leave, this old bag of bones can't be separated from you. He turned to look at everyone behind him and continued, as for the family members, they agree with me. Leaving is perhaps the best outcome. Moreover, Feng has already told us about the situation in that place. Therefore, we will leave with you. As soon as he said this, everyone in the Lin family spoke in unison. Their voices were loud and clear. Yes, we will leave with you. Lin Ray's expression was filled with determination as he looked at everyone. Since that was the case, there was nothing to hesitate about. All right, I will use my spiritual energy to envelop you all in a moment. When we reappear, it will be our home. As he spoke, he used his divine will to communicate with the single-direction teleportation array in the system. Wang, under Lin Ray's communication with his divine sense, a huge array formation instantly appeared beneath the feet of Lin Ray and the others. It was so full that the entire mountain could not hide the existence of the array formation. In the end, it enveloped the entire mountain. The moment the formation appeared, a faint blue light appeared in everyone's line of sight. This scene could be said to be extremely shocking. In the heavenly fate world, most people were martial cultivators. This was the first time they had seen such a godlike thing, including the old man and the others. Looking at the blue light under his feet, the old man was stunned. He looked at his grandson, and his heart seemed to grow stronger. All right, let's hold hands and not move. He didn't have the chance to explain to them their shock. Once they reached the God realm and stayed in the God realm for a while, he believed that they wouldn't look like country bumpkins who had just entered the city. His divine sense rushed into the unidirectional teleportation array and found the array core that activated the array. Spiritual energy rushed out of his body and rushed towards the array core. System, connect the unidirectional teleportation array to the mountain where the Xuanzong sect is located, Lin Ray said. Ding. Connecting to the Xuanzong sect requires the host to spend 10 million exchange points. What? Lin Ray was dumbfounded by the system's words. What the hell was going on? Was it causing trouble? It didn't say this before. Ding. The host needs to understand that you are now in the outermost plane. Connecting to the Xuanzong sect from here in the God realm requires an extremely large amount of spiritual energy. Do you think the system would do such a bad deal? Lin Ray didn't believe the system's words, but there was no other way. Now that he was on the pirate ship, if he wanted to get off the ship, more than 50 million exchange points would be wasted. Now, the only way was to spend 10 million to connect the system to the Xuanzong sect. Thinking about it, Lin Rei reluctantly nodded. Okay, but you have to promise that this is the last time, and you have to promise that I can reach the Xuanzong sect after spending this one time. After being cheated by the system for so long, it was natural that he had to make some guarantees. If he had to spend another 10 million right after he had spent 10 million, wouldn't he be a foolish tycoon? The system guarantees that this 10 million will guarantee your return to the God realm. Really? System, really? Lin Rei believed the system's guarantee. Then he heard the system's message deducting his exchange points. Seeing his exchange points shrink like they were shrinking, his heart was bleeding like a river. The money that he had painstakingly accumulated had been sucked clean by the vampire that was the system. There was nothing left. The system agreed to Lin Rei's request, and then its voice disappeared. After a moment, the system's voice sounded again. Communication successful. Increase the amount of energy transmitted to the array core. After the array is activated, you will have returned to the Xuanzong sect when you open your eyes. That's more like it. Lin Rei was relieved. As long as it wasn't in front of him, anything was fine. Even if it asked him to go to the holy world and challenge a low-level sect, he would be willing. Okay, hurry up and leave. Remember, the unidirectional teleportation array is very powerful. Protect your loved ones well. Although the teleportation array is safe, there might be spatial turbulence or something. When that time comes, hearing the system's words, Lin Rei couldn't help but roll his eyes. He hurriedly interrupted the system's next words. Okay, shut up. Nothing good comes out of your mouth. Lin Rei stopped talking, and both sides fell silent. Lin Rei exited the system and looked at the array core with his divine sense. Then, he increased the amount of energy transmitted. Little by little, almost half of the holy energy was transmitted to the array core. Seeing that the array core, which seemed to be insatiable, finally reacted, Lin Rei was relieved. You bastard, if you don't give me some reaction, I will destroy you today. Lin Rei increased the transmission, but at the same time, the devouring heaven execution began to devour the top-grade divine crystals. The only thing he could do now was to activate the array core while recovering. Otherwise, if the array core were to experience spatial turbulence like the system said, it would be difficult to protect them. Little by little, the people outside saw Lin Rei standing there in a daze, doing nothing. There was nothing but doubt in their hearts. However, even so, no one went to disturb Lin Rei. They all stood there obediently, waiting for Lin Rei to wake up. Night came, and in the blink of an eye, the night disappeared, and the day came. One night passed. Lin Rei looked at the array core, which was emitting a strong blue light. It's finally done. If those disciples and those who look down on me see how difficult it is for me to activate the array, they will probably despise me to death. As he spoke, he stretched out his hand and made a grabbing motion, and the core of the single-direction teleportation array, which was glowing with blue light, flew into his hand. Finally. I can finally go home. Wait for me, I will be back soon. Chapter 1147. Come on, with the last bit of spiritual energy, the single-direction teleportation formation was activated, and they could go home soon. Thinking about how he would be able to go home and see his children, Linley was extremely excited. If someone were to carefully observe Linley, they would discover that right now, Linley's body was trembling slightly at the thought of being able to go home. Because of the excitement, because of the feeling, he had never wanted to go home and see his wife and children so much. Exiting the formation space, he looked at his parents. Dad, everyone, it's almost time to leave. Take another look at this world. Maybe we won't come back in the future. When these words came out, everyone was silent. Yes, they didn't know when they would come back. Maybe it was like what Lin Rei said, if they left this time, they might not be able to come back to this world where he was born and raised in this lifetime. Everyone held hands and walked out of the cave. A cool breeze blew in their faces, and the sun shone on everyone's faces. At this moment, the old man and the others didn't feel that the sun was dazzling. On the contrary, the old man felt that the sun was very beautiful and warm. Goodbye, Destiny Realm. Goodbye. Everyone sighed and closed their eyes. They didn't want to look at this world anymore. If they continued to look, they would leave reluctantly. Looking at everyone's current appearance, Lin Ray understood their feelings. But after all, they had to leave. Although this place could be said to be aloof from worldly affairs and could be considered a paradise, it was still not a place where he could stay. Sigh. Letting out a long sigh, he didn't hesitate and poured the last bit of spiritual energy into the formation eye. Buzz buzz, boom, the formation eye trembled, followed by a rumbling sound. The single-direction teleportation formation was activated. The single-direction teleportation formation was activated, and blue light instantly rushed out from the ground, wrapping Lin Ray and the others in blue light. The moment the formation was activated, Lin Ray had already prepared an energy shield to wrap everyone up. Although he didn't think that such a bad thing would happen, it was always better to be safe. Moreover, the system's mouth seemed to have been blessed. Generally, the system's words would be verified very well. Lin Ray deeply understood this point. One must know that Lin Ray was the only spokesperson of the system's mouth. Whoosh, the blue light shot up into the sky and enveloped everyone. Then, it dissipated. As for the array formation that enveloped the entire mountain, the moment the blue light disappeared, the array formation also dissipated. No one in the heavenly fate realm knew about this and no one could detect it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come to such a remote realm. Lin Ray and the Lin family had completely disappeared from the Destiny world. Divine World, Celestial Dragon Mountain, Xuanzong Sect, Xuanzong Sect. Lin Yun was sitting on the Sect Master's seat as usual. Uncle Gang, tell me, how did the investigation go in the past few days? Lin Yun asked anxiously. It had been some time since the investigation had been handed over to Kagang. Now that Kagang had returned, he must have received information about that bastard's background and all the investigation results. Looking at Lin Yun, Kagang smiled awkwardly. To be honest, he didn't want to say too much. After all, this was Lin Yun's family matter. As an outsider, it wasn't appropriate for him to interfere. However, Lin Yun clearly didn't think so. Uncle Gang, as the Sect Master, I order you to tell me about that bastard's background. Don't lie to me. Otherwise, I'll tell my father that you bullied me and talked about him behind his back. Damn, you. Quigang's face turned ugly. He wasn't afraid of anything except for Lin Ray. Since you want to know, I'll tell you. Lin Yun seemed to be eager to know. In the end, Kagang gave in. Looking at the sky outside, he finally opened his mouth and told Lin Yun everything he had investigated. Jiuyun, also known as Hua Jiuyun, was a descendant of the southern region Sparrow County's Hua clan. His character was decent, but his father and family weren't. Oh. That bastard was called Hua Jiuyun? Hearing this name and the information Kagang told him, Lin Yun's expression eased. At least Jiuyun's character was decent. Don't be so happy just yet. Seeing Lin Yun smile, Kagang couldn't help but dissuade him. Although you know one thing, you don't know the other. What do you mean? Lin Yun was baffled. He couldn't figure out what was going on. Hua Jiuyun, that bastard's character is decent, but what you don't know is that the Hua clan's old ancestor, Hawking, accidentally killed him when the young master first arrived in the divine realm. What's the matter? Just kill him, what? Kill him? His brain didn't react at first. After all, it wasn't a big deal for his father, Lin Ray, to kill someone. But when he came back to his senses, he realized the severity of the matter. What the hell was going on? Now that his daughter, Lin Ray's granddaughter, had fallen in love with that bastard, this Ling hadn't even married into the Hua clan, and their old ancestor was killed by his father. What kind of grudge was this? Could it be resolved just because of a woman? In other words, this marriage might be a conspiracy, a meticulously planned conspiracy. That's not all. Not only did the young master kill the Hua clan's old ancestor, he also crippled the cultivation of most of the Hua clan's cultivators and chased them out of Sparrow County. He also ordered all the clans and sects in Sparrow County to kill the Hua clan if they appear in Sparrow County again. More importantly, the Hua clan's assets are still in our hands. What? Lin Yun was completely shocked by his father's actions. What was this? Was this karma? Does Ling know about this? Fortunately, Lin Yun was a hierarch realm expert and his heart was strong enough to withstand the news. Otherwise, an ordinary person's heart would have stopped beating long ago. Right now, Lin Yun was most worried about his daughter. He was afraid that she wouldn't be able to take it if she knew about this. I don't know. I've been investigating this matter secretly. Not many people know about it. Moreover, I've warned those who were involved in this matter. No one will talk about it. Don't worry, phew, that's good, that's good. Knowing that his daughter didn't know about this matter, he finally felt relieved. In front of the Xuanzong Sect's mountain gate, it was originally a sunny day with no clouds in sight. The gatekeepers of the Xuanzong Sect were chatting when the sky suddenly darkened. Boom! A loud explosion sounded. The two Xuanzong Sect disciples who were chatting happily felt the natural changes in their surroundings. They immediately circulated their cultivation and became vigilant. What's going on? Using his divine sense to scan the changes in the surroundings, he asked his companion. I don't know. But there must be a reason for this abnormality. Be careful. Chapter 1148. Boom, the rumbling sound became more and more obvious. The two disciples on guard were extremely vigilant. The Xuanzong Sect was an important place. Although it was not a sect that bullied others, it was not a place where anyone could come as they wished. Moreover, the rumbling sound came suddenly. The two disciples had to be vigilant. Who knew if it was a former enemy of the Xuanzong Sect? Boom! Suddenly, when the two disciples on guard were looking around, a blue light accompanied by a rumbling sound suddenly appeared at the main gate of the Xuanzong Sect. Should we report this to the sect leader? Looking at the blue light in front of him, the man asked his companion. His companion hesitated. He did not know if he should report it. After all, if he reported everything to the sect leader would be busy to death. After hesitating for a moment, his companion finally shook his head. Forget it. Let's take a look first. In the end, the two reached an agreement. They would take a look first and report it when things really got out of hand. Then, the two of them became more vigilant and stared at the place where the blue light appeared, as if they wanted to see something from the blue light. Phew, the familiar gate, the familiar concentration of spirit chi, everything is familiar. It seems, I am really back. Within the blue light, Linley's group appeared. The moment they appeared in front of the profound Sect's mountain gate, they sensed the density of spiritual energy around them. Then, they raised their heads to look at the familiar mountain gate. Linley was certain. This was the sect that he had created. This was his home, the Xuanzong Sect. Looking at the blue light, the man said, "De Ben, why do I feel that this blue light is emitted by a teleportation array?" What? A teleportation array? Hearing the man's words, De Ben looked up and pondered. The man's words were true. Looking at the appearance of the blue light and the aura emitted from it, it was indeed similar to the teleportation array set up by the array formation teacher during their array formation class. The only difference was that there was a big difference and a small difference. It seems that it really is a teleportation array. De Ben finally agreed with the man's words. However, the problem was that teleportation arrays were all equal. Now that there was no teleportation array in front of the gate, How could there be a teleportation array here? Conflicted, incomparably conflicted. While the two of them were in a dilemma, the blue light that was originally soaring to the sky slowly dissipated. Finally, the figures of Lin Ray and his group appeared in the sight of Deben and Deben. F***ck, what's this? Seeing the sudden appearance of a group of people, Deben and Deben were dumbfounded. What kind of situation was this? Although he believed that it was a teleportation portal, why would someone come to the Xuanzong sect? Furthermore, the aura of the group of people in front of him seemed to be a little too weak. At this moment, if Lin Ray knew what the two of them were thinking, then they wouldn't be able to live peacefully in the future. Too weak? Who are you talking about? This was Lin Ray's family, the master of the Xuanzong sect. How could he say that the master was too weak? Did he have a death wish? From time to time, I feel that the days in the sect are too comfortable, and I should throw you all into the 9 underworlds to experience the cycle of reincarnation again. Seeing the two of them in a daze, Lin Ray frowned and coldly said, "Are you the disciples on duty today?" "Yes, we are." Deben responded to Lin Ray's words almost without any consideration. F***ck, what are you doing? However, as soon as Deben spoke, the man on the side quickly elbowed Deben and said, "Are you crazy? Do you know who they are? Why did you respond to them?" Deben wanted to refute, but he didn't know what to say. After all, the man was right. Alas, it's really getting worse with each generation. As he spoke, Linley let out a sigh and walked towards the mountain gate. However, what made Lin Ray embarrassed was that when he stepped closer to the sect, the two people who were originally guarding the gate stepped forward and blocked Lin Ray's way. "Handsome, I'm really sorry. This road is blocked. Please take a detour." What? Lin Ray was dumbfounded. What the hell was this? He was blocked at the entrance of the sect, and it was blocked by his disciples. The two of them didn't know that their actions were tantamount to suicide. Lin Ray was very unhappy with their actions. When had he been treated like this when he returned to his own sect? When he was here, from the elders to the servants in the Xuanzong sect, all of them were respectful to him. But now? Things have changed with the passage of time. Things have remained the same, but people have changed. Are you kidding me? How long has it been since he left? However, the only thing he could be sure of was that the two people in front of him were indeed disciples of the Xuanzong sect, but they didn't have the aura of the soul control pill on them. This meant that they were recruited by him. Thinking of this, Lin Ray's helplessness lessened a little. As for Lin Feng and the others who came up with Lin Ray, they also looked at the scene in front of them with a strange expression. Looking at the two people's reaction to his son, Lin Ray, he began to wonder if what his son said before was true. Cough. That, feeling the suspicious gazes behind him, Lin Ray's heart almost collapsed. Damn, I'm really the superior sect leader here. Roaring in his heart, he raised his head and looked at the two people in front of him. The hatred in his eyes was undisguised. If Kuei Gang was here and saw Lin Ray's expression, he would probably hide far away and wait for Lin Ray to calm down before returning. When you first joined the sect, didn't your current sect leader tell you about the history of the sect? For example, his father, the founder of the 9 Heavens Xuanzong sect, Lin Ray? Don't tell me that the Xuanzong sect doesn't have a statue or any image of the sect leader. This time, Lin Ray was anxious. Although it was very easy to enter, they were still disciples of his own sect. It wouldn't be good to go too far. And this was what he was most aggrieved about right now. Hearing Lin Ray's words, Deben and Kuei Gang looked at each other. Their expressions seemed to be asking if the other party knew what Lin Ray said just now. However, to Lin Ray's disappointment, the two looked confused. Obviously, they didn't understand and didn't have the proof that Lin Ray said. F***ck, what was I thinking? Thinking about it, I'm the founder of the Xuanzong sect. Now that I've entered the gate, the gatekeeper doesn't even know who the founder is. This is too embarrassing, too ugly. Thinking about it, Lin Rei secretly decided that after today, he must make a statue of himself in front of the gate. Not only that, he also had to stipulate that the new disciples must know the founder's appearance and name. Otherwise, wouldn't it be so embarrassing every time he came back like this? Thinking about it, this was very necessary, and it had to be implemented immediately. I say, what exactly do you want? Looking for someone? Revenge? Why don't you say something? Looking at Lin Rei's silence, De Ben couldn't help but ask. As a disciple of the Xuanzong sect, they wouldn't be like other sections. When they see some ordinary people coming to the sect, they would throw them out or even kill them. But the two people didn't notice that at this moment, Lin Rei's face was extremely dark and was on the verge of exploding. Fa. Father? Just when Lin Rei's anger was about to erupt, regardless of whether he was a disciple or not, a weak and tentative voice came from behind. Father? Lin Rei was somewhat familiar with this voice, but he still couldn't remember it. He turned around and looked in the direction of the voice. What entered his eyes was a man who looked 70 to 80% similar to Lin Rei. Now in the distance, he was looking at Lin Rei with confused eyes. When Lin Rei's eyes met the man's, Lin Rei was dumbfounded. That was because the man was none other than his son, Lin Rei, Lin Shan. Fuck, what are you doing? My most embarrassing moment was seen by this stinking brat. How am I going to maintain my image in the future? But of course, such thoughts were just thoughts. Lin Li still responded to Lin Shan's call. Come over here and explain to these two idiots who who I am. When these words came out of his mouth, Lin Shan was certain that this was his father, Lin Rei, who had been away for hundreds of years. But there was a problem. His father was already home, so why was he still at the sect gate? What was even stranger was that his father wanted him to go out and explain his identity. Although he was puzzled, he still stepped forward and came to Lin Rei's side. He pointed at Lin Rei and explained to the two guards. De Ben, this is my father. He's the father of the Xuanzong sect master, Lin Yun, and the founder of the Nine Heavens Xuanzong sect. Then, he turned to look at his father, whom he hadn't seen for many years. Without saying anything else, he rushed over and hugged Lin Rei. Father, you haven't been back for a long time? Did you miss me? Oh, right. Sister said that she had a treasure that she wanted you to refine for her. Oh, right. There's also, Mother also missed you. But ever since you came back last time, the two of you have been staying in the secret realm behind the mountain. It seems like you have something on your mind. Plop, a strange sound came from behind. Lin Shan, who had been chattering endlessly like a chatterbox, suddenly stopped talking. When he turned around, he saw that the two were already kneeling on the ground. Their bodies were trembling with their faces pressed against the ground. You. What are you doing? Although this young master knows that he is very handsome and has a high status, you don't have to do this. Lin Shan didn't understand what they meant. However, Lin Rei smiled. He had finally regained his face. He turned around and looked at Lin Feng and the others behind him. His face was full of pride. Father, Mother, this brat is your son in the divine world, Lin Shan. As he spoke, he kicked Lin Shan's buttocks. He glared at him and said, Brat, why aren't you coming over to greet your grandparents and your maternal grandfather? What? What? Son? Great-grandson? Everyone exclaimed with a strange expression. Even De Ben, who were lying on the ground, were terrified when they heard this. They even straightened their backs and looked at the scene before them. However, only Lin Rei looked indifferent. He wasn't surprised by everyone's shock. Well, didn't I tell you about my identity before? Since I reincarnated, now that I have returned to my original body and brought you to the divine world, I naturally have to return to my original life. And I have a sect in the divine world, although it's not very big. 3 sons and a daughter, but, speaking of this, Lin Rei's expression dimmed. My eldest son, Jin En, was killed by an enemy in the divine world, so now I have 2 sons, a daughter, and 3 wives. Then, he pointed at Lin Shan again and said, this is my 4th son, twins with my 3rd daughter. Then, he looked at the stunned and shocked Lin Shan and kicked him. Hurry up, do you want me to do it myself? Lin Shan was still confused by the sudden appearance of these relatives in front of him. However, looking at his father Lin Rei's threatening gaze, Lin Shan could only suppress the doubts in his heart and kneel down to kowtow. Grandson Lin Shan greets grandfather, grandmother, grandfather. Everyone, although they understood Lin Rei's identity, reality limited their imagination. Until now, Lin Feng and the others were still shocked by this scene. Father, mother, grandfather. Lin Rei softly reminded them. Oh, right. Lin Feng was the first to come back to his senses. He reached out and helped Lin Shan up. Although he was still shocked, he still accepted it. After all, this was his son's son, which meant that he was his grandson. Little Shan, how old are you this year? This was a very common question, but Lin Rei was stunned. He had forgotten to explain this to his family, but it seemed that it was a bit late. As expected. Seeing Lin Feng ask, Lin Rei smiled honestly and said almost without thinking, I'm not sure, but I should be 1 or 2,000 years old. Children really know how to joke. Lin Feng smiled awkwardly and politely. Lin Shan didn't say anything. He could sense Lin Feng in the other's cultivation, so he didn't say much. As the saying goes, the more you say, the more mistakes you make. Well. Father, let's go in first. Lin Rei just wanted to end this embarrassing situation as soon as possible. On the side, Lin Shan looked at his father's appearance and smiled in his heart. He quickly said to save the situation, yes, let's go in. Before Lin Rei could speak, Lin Shan directly pulled Lin Feng and Hui Yun, one in each hand, and walked toward the mountain gate. At this moment, the 2 guards of De Ben didn't stop them as before. Instead, they knelt respectfully and moved aside to make way for them. When Lin Feng and the others left, the old master and the others naturally didn't need to stay, so they followed and left. It's over. We're dead. The 2 people kneeling on the ground watched everyone leave except for Lin Rei. They were instantly soaked in cold sweat. What did it mean to be better off dead? What did it mean to be happier to be dead than to be alive? The 2 people of De Ben were in such a mood now. They couldn't wait for Lin Rei to kill them directly. They didn't want to wait for punishment like this. Although they hadn't seen the methods of the founder of the sect, they had heard a thing or two about the methods of the law enforcement department. You too, from today on, you're no longer guarding the gate. Go and learn the history of the sect. Damn it, I'm the founder of the Xuanzong sect. One day, I'm blocked outside the mountain gate by my own disciples. Good job. You're the only one. Chapter 1149. At this moment, Big Ben and Big Ben were too ashamed to show their faces. Indeed, as Linley said, in the entire God realm, this matter was probably unique. Lin Rei nodded his head and said, all right, don't give me that, silence is golden act. Do as I said before, go to the law enforcement department to receive your punishment. I'll have to check on you afterwards. Yes, we'll obey. After the 2 kowtowed, they stood up and walked into the sect. Lin Rei naturally did not leave the sect gate unguarded. Little Tiger, I'll have to trouble you for this period of time. Lin Rei said to Little Tiger. Oh, by the way, Xue Lingtian, follow Little Tiger. He looked at Xue Lingtian Tendo. What? Xue Lingtian came out from Lin Rei's sleeve and raised his head to scold Lin Rei. He had already let down his ancestor when he agreed to be Lin Rei's subordinate. Now, he even had to be treated as a doorman. He could not stand it anymore. What? I'm an ultimate God realm demonic beast. What makes you think you can do that? Do you think you're stronger than me? Or is your bloodline nobler than mine? Little Tiger did not like Shuelingtian's attitude. In his eyes, Lin Rei was everything. He did not like anyone who disobeyed Lin Rei's orders. For example, Shuelingtian. Shuelingtian shuddered when he saw Scarlet Tiger looking like he wanted to eat a dragon. He did not dare to look at Scarlet Tiger. Looking at the two, a smile appeared on his face and he said, "All right, this matter is settled. I'll get Yun to arrange for someone to bring you down." All right, don't worry, Brother Lei. Go ahead. All right. He didn't linger there for long. He turned around and stepped into the Xuanzong Sect's main gate. He ordered his men to chase after Lin Feng and the others. Inside the Xuanzong Sect, Lin Shan led Lin Feng and the others on a walk. Along the way, Lin Feng and the others were amazed with every step they took. They were amazed by everything in the Xuanzong Sect. They had seen sects before. Of course, they were sects in the heavenly fate world. However, the difference between the heavenly fate world and the heavenly fate world was like heaven and earth. Just one palace in the Xuanzong Sect was stronger than the entire Cloudwind Sect in the Destiny realm. Moreover, the palaces here were all very luxurious, high-end, and high-class. Lin Feng was very excited when he saw them. At this moment, Lin Shan, who was walking beside Lin Feng and the others, had already accepted his family. Looking at the shocked expressions of Lin Feng and the others, Lin Shan smiled and introduced them. "Grandfather, this is the sect that father founded. This place is a little far from where I live. However, this is good. Let's walk like this so that we can introduce the situation of the sect to everyone." As he spoke, he pointed at the palace in the distance and said, "This place is called the Sky Mountain Range. There should be about 80 to 90,000 disciples in the entire sect. Of course, there are countless sects in the heavenly fate world. A single holy land has over 1 million disciples. Compared to them, our Xuanzong Sect doesn't have the advantage in terms of numbers. However, the Xuanzong Sect is very strong in the heavenly fate world. It's not an exaggeration to say that if our Xuanzong Sect is the second strongest in the heavenly fate world, no one would dare to say that they are the first." When he said this, Lin Feng and the others were shocked. A holy land had over 1 million disciples. Such a sect with 80 to 90,000 disciples was the overlord of the heavenly fate world. How could they not be shocked? However, at the same time, they were also very happy. One had to know that this was a sect that their son had founded. Thinking about it, their faces were full of smiles. The old man's face was flushed red. He wanted to see the prestige of the Xuanzong Sect. "The palace I live in is called the Sky Palace. It's located in the depths of the sect. The palace is very big, but I usually live alone. Originally, there were subordinates who took care of it, but I coaxed all of them away. After all, I don't need anyone to take care of me. Moreover, I usually cultivate in seclusion for 100 years. There's no point in keeping them. However, since you're here, you might need them. At that time, I'll personally pick a batch for you and let them serve you well." Lin Shan was very happy at this moment. He didn't have the previous estrangement. Perhaps it was because of Lin Rei's actions. However, Lin Shan didn't know that while he was talking, Lin Rei had already appeared behind them. He followed them and didn't say anything. However, when Lin Shan said that he cultivated for 100 years, Lin Rei couldn't hold it in anymore. Although he usually didn't go to the sect, and these sons were also important to him, he still knew about them. The second son, Lin Yun, was usually busy with the sect's affairs and was very diligent. Lin Rei was very assured about this son of his. As for Lin Shan, this fourth son, Lin Rei felt like he was going to die from anger. He was lazy, loved to drink, and didn't like to cultivate. He was a total loafer. When he thought about what he said about cultivation, Lin Rei couldn't help but walk out from behind and give him a kick. "You bastard, you still have the nerve to say that you're cultivating." Lin Rei's voice sounded. Lin Shan shrank his neck and retreated to the side. As for the pain on his butt, Lin Shan didn't care. Father, shut your mouth. Lin Rei didn't want to hear his rebuttal. He knew his son's character. Look at yourself. Your cultivation is only at the early stage of the divine general realm. You want to anger me to death. He thought about his own path. In just 4,000 years, he went from an ant with nothing to the saint realm. He didn't expect his son to be so lazy. Father, you also know that the path of cultivation has to be done step by step. Sister is always in seclusion. How can a girl live a normal life? You, father, please listen to me. Lin Shan seemed to want to say all the words in his heart. When Lin Rei opened his mouth, he was refuted by him. The last time I saw my sister was 300 years ago. 300 years. She cultivated in her own palace all day. It's fine if I can't see her, but even mother wants to see her. Father, when do you think cultivation will end? If cultivation has to be like this, then it's better not to live on this path. After saying this, Lin Shan closed his mouth and stood aside. On the surface, Lin Shan didn't see anything strange, but only he knew the real situation. At this moment, Lin Shan's clothes were soaked in cold sweat. His legs were trembling, and his heart was beating like a drum. When had his second brother, the sect master of the Xuanzong sect, dared not speak to his father like this? Now, he had done it. However, fear was fear. Lin Shan was right. The last time he saw his sister was 300 years ago. He didn't like this kind of life. He liked to travel and see new things. He didn't like to stay in his palace all day and cultivate day and night. Chapter 1150. The atmosphere was extremely quiet. Lin Feng and the rest heard everything from the start to the end. Their hearts were filled with reluctance and shock. Reluctance was because they couldn't bear to see Lin Shan and Lin Xian'er in such a state. Lin Xian'er was also the one who was shocked. She actually went into closed-door seclusion for over 300 years. 300 years, it wasn't as simple as 3 days. At this moment, everyone finally understood that in the divine world, the thing they didn't lack the most was time. The silence caused Lin Feng and the rest to feel uneasy. Hui Yun, who was at the side, couldn't bear to continue watching. When she came to Lin Rei, a scene that exceeded everyone's expectations appeared. He was sure that this was the most shocking and unforgettable scene he had ever told. Pa! Hui Yun came to Lin Rei's side and directly slapped the back of Lin Rei's head without hesitation. You bastard brat, you are already so strong, why do you still want to force your children? Could it be that as their father, you don't know how to protect them? Staring at his mother, Lin Rei had an innocent look on his face. He didn't seem to have said anything, right? Why was he the one being slapped now? He couldn't understand, but he couldn't refute. However, in his heart, he silently remembered this grudge. Not towards Hui Yun, but towards his son, Lin Shan. Don't tell me you. From today onwards, I don't want to hear from little Shan's mouth that you forced him to cultivate. If not. After speaking, Hui Yun raised her hand as though she was saying, if you continue to force me, this mommy will slap you. With regards to this, Lin Rei was extremely helpless. He also didn't want to, he also wanted to stay by his wife's side. But this world didn't allow it. This wasn't the heavenly fate realm. In this place, if you didn't have absolute strength to suppress all life, you would become a fish on the chopping board of others. The final result would be that you would be at the mercy of others. Lin Rei understood that Hui Yun and the rest had just arrived in the divine world. Maybe they didn't understand the way of life here. Hence, he didn't argue and could only nod his head in agreement. All right, mother. Whatever you say. I won't force Lin Shan to cultivate anymore. Although he said that, he already had a plan in his heart. As Lin Rei's son, how could he be a loafer without any achievements? Even if he allowed it, the world would not allow him to do so. Without the protection of Lin Rei and the Xuanzong sect, he would be pushed by the cruel rules of this world to become strong. Of course, unless he was willing to put his life in the hands of others. At the side, Lin Shan recovered from his shock and rushed to Huiyun's back. He raised his hand and massaged Huiyun's shoulders with a fawning look. "Father, is what you said true? Are you really not going to force me to cultivate?" Lin Shan understood that this father of his was an existence that feared neither heaven nor earth. His only weakness was his family. In particular, he did not dare to disobey the orders of his grandparents. "Grandma, look, father isn't saying anything." Lin Shan started to act like a spoiled child. "Ray, didn't you hear what Xiao Shan said?" Huiyun reminded him. Lin Rei was speechless. He looked at Lin Shan, who was massaging Huiyun's shoulders, and glared at him fiercely. Then, he nodded and replied, "I understand, mother." He looked up at Lin Shan and said, "Don't worry. I came back this time to settle them down. After that, I will leave this world. As for you," looking at Lin Shan, Lin Rei paused for a moment. Then, he continued, "I won't care about you anymore. Whether you live or die in the future will depend on your own luck. After all, I can't stay by your side forever. There will be a day when the fledgling will fly alone to find food. You, take care of yourself." At this moment, Lin Rei spoke in his own words. He had never said such words in front of his wife and children, but this time, hearing this, Lin Shan was stunned. He felt an inexplicable sadness in his heart. He also felt sad that Lin Rei had to leave after just coming back. "Let's go. I'll bring you back to the palace." With that, he waved his hand. A gentle energy enveloped everyone except Lin Shan, and they disappeared in an instant. "Father," Lin Rei's actions were too fast. Lin Shan didn't even have time to react before they disappeared. Seeing Lin Rei disappear, Lin Shan felt an inexplicable panic in his heart. He didn't know why, but when he thought of what Lin Rei said just now, he didn't know why, but he felt uncomfortable. That was not the tone of a father talking to his son. In his heart, he regretted what he said just now. In the deepest part of the mysterious sect, in front of the tallest palace, Linley led the group of people and appeared. When the guards who had been patrolling the area saw the sudden appearance of the group of people, they took a big step forward and helped Linley and the others to their feet. "What's wrong? Even you want to stop me?" Looking at the leader, he remembered that this was the first batch of disciples of the Xuanzong sect. They had been following him since the founding of the sect. More importantly, there was the aura of the soul-controlling pill in his body. You are," when the leader heard Lin Rei's words, he stepped forward and looked directly at Lin Rei's face. The instant he saw Lin Rei's face, he knelt down. "Song Wei greets the sect master. This disciple is guilty." Song Wei's actions and his words caused the surrounding disciples to tremble. They also knelt down and said, "We are guilty." "Humph, it seems that you still recognize me." With a cold snort, he ordered everyone to stand up. "Stand up." "Yes, sect master." Everyone stood up and respectfully stood in front of Lin Rei. It seemed that they didn't intend to leave. "Is there anything else?" No. "If that's the case, then continue patrolling." "Why is your son following me?" Looking at Song Wei's appearance, Lin Rei couldn't help but roll his eyes. "Oh, okay. This subordinate will go now." After saying that, Song Wei came to a realization. He respectfully bowed to Lin Rei and the others and hurriedly left. "Rei, was this sect really founded by you?" Seeing Song Wei leave, Lin Feng still couldn't believe it. Looking at the palace in front of him, such a magnificent place was actually his son's sect. This made him feel like he was floating in the air. It was unrealistic. "All right, father. You don't have to ask this question in the future. I will have Yun arrange for you to be expelled in a while." I will also find a teacher so that you can learn the language of the divine world. As for your cultivation, I will have a hierarch to protect you. This way, you won't have any problems with your cultivation. Since he was going to leave, he had to make arrangements. He couldn't just leave everyone here and leave in a hurry. Hearing this, the old man and the others nodded and chose to remain silent. At this moment, everyone knew that they were in an illusion. Let's go. After saying that, Lin Rei took a step forward and led everyone to the main hall. But at this moment, he and Kuei Gang were both in the main hall. Young master? What young master? I am Lin Yun, young master. Kuei Gang's words caught Lin Yun off guard. Kuei Gang ignored Lin Yun's words and disappeared. When he reappeared, he was in front of Lin Rei. Plop. Young master, this subordinate respectfully welcomes young master's return. Chapter 1151. Looking at Kuei Gang kneeling in front of him, a smile appeared on his face. He stepped forward and helped Kuei Gang up. I knew it. I can't hide it from you guys. After all, Kuei Gang and the others were summoned by him from the system. After Lin Rei returned to the Xuanzong sect, Kuei Gang sensed it. Moreover, they were so close to each other just now. More importantly, after Lin Rei broke through to the Saint Realm, Kuei Gang and the others directly broke through to the Saint Realm from the perfected ultimate God realm. They crossed 3 small realms and directly reached the perfected Dao Fruit Saint realm. If Kuei Gang hadn't noticed them at such a close distance, Lin Rei would have considered whether he should change the guards of the sect. Young master, where have you been all this time? Kuei Gang asked as Lin Rei helped him up. During this time, Kuei Gang had reached the perfected Saint realm. However, the good news for Lin Rei suddenly stopped. This made him very worried. Looking at Kuei Gang, Lin Rei fell silent for a moment. Then, he said, let's not talk about this for now. After saying that, he turned to look at his parents and the others behind him. These are my parents, my family. From today onwards, arrange for them to stay in the Wan Tian Palace. It just so happens that you're here as well. My parents are still cultivating low-grade origin qi. After you bring them to the Wan Tian Palace, help them find a top-grade cultivation technique from the library and impart it to them. At the same time, help them build their foundation with medicinal pills. As for the cultivation technique, after testing the attribute of their spiritual roots, find a suitable one for them. As he spoke, he pointed at Kuei Gang and introduced, father, mother, grandfather, 4th uncle, he's my subordinate. He's a perfected Dao Fruit Saint. With him protecting you, I believe you'll be able to adapt to life here very quickly. Okay. Looking at Kuei Gang, Lin Feng and the others nodded and cupped their hands at him. However, this action scared Kuei Gang silly. Plop. Absolutely not. Kuei Gang is the young master's subordinate. You are the young master's family. This kind of etiquette is somewhat inappropriate. Kneeling on the ground with his head lowered, his body trembling uncontrollably, as if he was going through something horrifying. However, this scene frightened Lin Feng and the others. A Dao Fruit Saint. Although they knew what level a Dao Fruit Saint was at, it was still shocking for an expert to act like this. As he thought about this, his gaze involuntarily fell on Lin Rei. Looking at this son of his, he felt an inexplicable excitement in his heart. How could Lin Feng, as a father, not feel gratified that he was able to restrain himself despite being so sad? Taking a step forward, Lin Feng adapted to his current identity and helped Kuei up. Alright, don't say that in the future. Since Rei asked you to teach us the cultivation method, then let's not talk about etiquette. As he spoke, he glanced at Lin Rei, as if to ask him to adjust. Seeing his father, Lin Feng, stealing glances at him, Lin Rei understood and agreed. Yes, Keegan. Since my father said so, then just do as you wish in the future. Besides, you will be their teacher in the future. As the saying goes, a strict teacher produces a fine disciple. At the very least, you can let them have enough strength in the god realm. In contrast, Kagang understood Lin Rei's thoughts and nodded. Yes, this subordinate understands. Since that's the case, then bring them there. I'm going to find Yun, to discuss something. As he spoke, he turned to his family and clansmen. Father, follow Kagang to his residence first. After we finish talking, let Yun, and the others accompany Xian, to greet you. Lin Feng didn't refuse. Hui Yun also didn't refuse. As the brains of the Lin family, he saw the situation clearly. Go, Kagang will take us. The old man responded. After entering the Xuanzong sect, the old man spoke very little. You could count with 2 hands. Lin Rei turned and walked towards the main hall. After Kagang saw Lin Rei off, his gaze fell on Lin Feng and the others. He bowed respectfully. Your cultivation is very high. Let's go to the Wantian Hall. Kagang wasn't a talkative person. To put it bluntly, he was a taciturn person. He turned and waved his hand. A gentle energy enveloped everyone. Then, he flew towards the east. The Wantian Hall was a supreme existence in the Xuanzong sect. It was just that it had been empty for many years. At the entrance to the main hall, as soon as Lin Li stepped into the main hall, a gaze fell upon him. Ha! Lin Rei smiled. He didn't need to guess to know who that gaze belonged to. He looked up and saw a young man who looked 80% to 90% similar to Lin Rei. He wore a loose robe and a purple gold crown. He had sword-like eyebrows and bright eyes. He was very handsome. Looking at the young man and the strand of white hair on his temples, Lin Yun felt an indescribable pain in his heart. You've worked hard all these years. Lin Rei opened his mouth. However, his voice lacked its usual sharpness and was replaced with a trace of gentleness. Father, you're finally back. Lin Yun flashed to Lin Rei's side. The two looked at each other for a long time. Then, Lin Yun gave Lin Rei a tight hug. I missed you so much. A teardrop flowed out of Lin Yun's eyes. The dignified sect master of the Divine World's #1 sect, a mid-stage hierarch expert, was crying. Sigh. Feeling better about Lin Yun's fluctuating emotions, Lin Li let out a long sigh and hugged Lin Yun tightly while using his other hand to stroke Lin Yun's long hair. All these years, I've made you sit on the sect master's seat and locked you in this cage. You must be tired. I'm not tired. I'm not tired. Lin Yun choked. This sect belongs to Father. Even if I have to sacrifice my life, I will protect Father's sect. I'm not afraid no matter how hard or tiring it is. It's just that, he stopped talking as if there was a fishbone stuck in his throat. He wanted to say something but he didn't dare to. What is it? Lin Yun let go of Lin Yun and looked at his son curiously. It's... Father, you're always outside. Mother passed away early. Aunt Ing and Aunt Bing are always in the secret territory. My younger brother and sister are not around. It's inevitable that I feel lonely. Lin Yun's eyes dimmed. Oh, ha ha ha, looking at his son, Lin Rei couldn't help but laugh. So it was because of this. However, when he thought about it, it was true. After all, Ing and the others weren't his biological mother. As for Xian, and Shan, one was always in seclusion and the other, in this life, other than his eldest son and his dead wife, the one he owed the most was his son. After thinking about it, he held Lin Yun's hand and walked towards the upper sect master's seat. Don't worry, it won't happen again. Chapter 1152. Father, you, Lin Yun stopped and turned around to face Lin Rei. His eyes were filled with confusion. He didn't understand what his father meant. What did he mean by not doing it again? Looking at Lin Yun's reaction, Lin Rei shook his head helplessly. Exactly what I said. In other words, I came back this time to deal with some matters and advance to the holy world. What? You want to go to the holy world? Lin Yun was shocked. He knew what kind of place the holy world was. The holy world wasn't like the divine world or the immortal world. It was hard to say if he could come down after going to the holy world. If he wanted to meet his father again, he had to cultivate hard and break through to the saint realm. Only then could he enter the holy world and reunite with his father. However, more importantly, there weren't many people in the divine world who could break through to the saint realm. Just like himself, he was only a mid-hierarch realm expert, only 2 minor realms away from the saint realm. Even so, he didn't dare to estimate the time he needed to break through to the saint realm and enter the holy world. Yes. Looking at Lin Yun, Lin Rei's expression was firm and resolute. Lin Yun knew that once his father made up his mind, even his closest relatives couldn't persuade him to stay. Looking at his father who had just returned and thinking about the scene where they would be separated again, Lin Yun's heart clenched and ached. However, Lin Rei saw Lin Yun's reaction and laughed inwardly. This bastard's news, at least wait until I'm done talking. Shaking his head, he smiled bitterly. All right, I didn't say I'm leaving alone. Why are you acting like this? What do you mean? Lin Yun was stunned on the spot, but a sad smile soon appeared on his face. With Lin Yun's intelligence, he naturally understood the meaning behind Lin Rei's words. Could it be that you, yes? Without waiting for Lin Yun to speak, Lin Rei interrupted and continued, other than arranging some matters, the most important thing is to bring you and your sister along. You've worked hard during this period. Although your cultivation is high, it's useless if you can't catch up. More importantly, you lack combat experience, which is not a good thing for you. As a result, after thinking about it, only a place like the Saints' World, where prodigies roam freely and sects are everywhere, would be suitable for you to train. Lin Yun was overjoyed when he heard Lin Rei's answer. His gloominess from before completely vanished, and Lin Yun was filled with fighting spirit as if he was ready to set off for the Saints' World at any time to compete with the prodigies of the Saints' World. However, before that, you have to pass the position of sect leader to that bastard Lin Shan. Lin Rei, who was originally in a good mood, instantly lost his good mood at the mention of his son. That scoundrel brat. It's been so many years, but his cultivation is still so weak. Compared to you back then, he's simply too weak. Lin Yun, looking at his father's disappointed expression, Lin Yun shivered and tried to exonerate Lin Shan. Father, Xiao Shan's character is like that. Since he doesn't like to cultivate, with the strength of our Xuanzong sect, it's not impossible to ensure that he lives a carefree life. Bullshit. Lin Li roared angrily, then continued, how old is he? He's no longer a child. Back then, I had already made a name for myself in the immortal world when I was his age. With that, he strode toward the position of sect leader. A pot of wine appeared in his hand at some point, and he drank as he spoke. It's not like you don't understand how the world is like. Remember father's words. Apart from your own strength, everything else is illusory. This time, I'll let him understand that without his father, mother, brother, and sister, he is nothing. Lin Yun fell silent. He didn't dare to plead for Lin Shan anymore. He didn't have the guts, especially when he heard the last sentence. He no longer had any thoughts of pleading. All he could do was silently pray for his pitiful younger brother. Pass down the order. This time, apart from the new disciples, all the elites of the sect are to gather in front of the main hall. As for the Xuanzong sect, leave it to him. At least this way, he can protect the people I brought back. Looking at his father, the corner of Lin Yun's mouth twitched. He pitied Lin Shan even more. Father, isn't this a little too ruthless? After all, he's your son. Back then, we offended too many sects in the immortal world. Our enemies are everywhere. If you do this, you'll undoubtedly leave fourth brother in the cracks of those sections. With fourth brother's ability, I feel that those new disciples of the sect are a little. He understood what Lin Yun meant, but this was the result he wanted. He wanted Lin Shan to have no one to seek help from. This was the only way to let Lin Shan understand what it meant to be cornered, what it meant to strive for improvement, and what it meant to survive. Thinking of the scene of Lin Shan being forced to cultivate and improve himself, the corner of Lin Rei's mouth rose slightly. This matter is settled. Inform them later. Of course, we still have to leave a group of experts behind. It's not to protect Lin Shan, but to protect his family. Even if the sect is destroyed in the end, they won't be in danger. This, all right. Lin Yun wanted to say something, but in the end, he didn't say it. The hall quieted down. Lin Rei and Lin Yun sat together and began to drink from the wine bottles in their hands. The news of Lin Rei's return swept through the entire Xuanzong sect. Even Ying and the others in the depths of the secret territory heard the news of Lin Rei's return. In the Xuanzong sect's secret territory, in a picturesque place, there was a small bridge over flowing water and a waterfall. On the shore of a lake, there was a wooden house. Ying walked out of it. Following behind her were Bing and Lin Shan. He was the one who informed Ying and Ying about Lin Rei's return. Mother, you have to talk to father properly. Just now, I made father unhappy. Even his tone changed. I've never heard father address me as this one. What? Ying was shocked. She knew her husband well. If he could say something like that, he must be very angry. Sister, what should we do now? On the side, Bing looked at Ying with a dignified expression and continued, Xiao Shan's cultivation is indeed too low. Even the disciples who recently joined the sect are much stronger than him. You and I know young master's character. He has been fighting and working hard all his life to be able to protect his family. Now, his son has become the person he hates the most. Ying was speechless. Ying was silent. She understood what Bing meant, but it was too late now. If she had known this would happen, she would have hardened her heart and locked up her disappointing son to let him cultivate. Chapter 1153. In the end, they couldn't come up with a good plan, so they could only give up. Based on their understanding of Lin Rei, they knew that this matter was going to be troublesome. Let's go. Since our husband is back, let's go take a look. Maybe there will be a turn for the better. Okay, let's go. The two looked at each other and nodded. Ying turned around and glared at her disappointing son before walking towards the front hall. Oh, that's right. Go and call your Uncle Tian. Tell him that young master is back. After saying that, he ignored Lin Shan and disappeared from Lin Shan's sight in the blink of an eye. Looking at his mother's departing figure, Lin Shan's heart shook. He had no choice but to nod and walk in another direction. News of Lin Rei's return spread throughout the Xuanzong sect. Ying and Bing, Lin Tian, Lin Ling, and the others all gathered at the highest and most sacred meeting hall of the Xuanzong sect. In the meeting hall, Lin Rei accompanied Lin Yun and his son to drink. The father and son chatted about their daily lives. Sometimes they cried, sometimes they laughed, and sometimes they sighed. There were wine bottles all over the floor. There were jars, glass bottles, and all kinds of wine bottles. Looking at Lin Yun's tired face, Lin Rei felt even more guilty. He looked at Lin Yun and swore to himself that he would carry out his decision this time. No matter what anyone said, it was useless. Come, let's drink this cup. They should be here soon. With that, Lin Rei raised the cup in his hand and tossed it into Lin Yun's mouth. Lin Yun was excited and happy to be able to drink and chat with his father. It had been a long time since he had enjoyed this kind of life. He had always hoped for this kind of opportunity. Now that it had come true, he was very excited. More importantly, he was able to follow Lin Rei into the holy world. This was the most exciting thing for him. After drinking a cup of wine, Lin Rei gently stroked Lin Yun's hair and said, "Okay, there will be plenty of opportunities to drink in the future. That's all for today. They're here." Lin Yun was stunned when he heard that. He spread his consciousness out and saw a dozen figures in his consciousness. Only then did he understand what was going on. He stood up and cupped his hands, intending to leave his seat. He turned around and walked down. "Where are you going?" When Lin Rei saw Lin Yun turning around, he stretched out his hand to stop him. "Father, your son is going down? Let's sit here. Let's sit together today," said Lin Yun with a smile as he pulled Lin Yun to his side. "Also, the tradition in our hometown is not to call someone father. One should not forget one's roots. Also, I feel a little uncomfortable calling him father." Lin Yun and he both came from an azure planet at the edge of the universe. There, people called their parents mom and dad. "What? Have you forgotten?" No. I just feel that father is a little different this time." Lin Yun looked at Lin Rei in a daze. He could feel that Lin Rei was much closer to him this time, and he could feel his fatherly love even more. "Heh, you little guy." Lin Rei understood Lin Yun's words. But when he thought about it, he felt that it made sense. In the past, he only knew how to improve his cultivation, and he was indeed lacking when it came to his family. Now that he was in the destiny realm, his personality had changed a lot. "Father." "Yes." Lin Rei felt warmth in his heart when he heard this form of address that he hadn't heard for a long time. This made him feel like he was at home. Just like that, the two didn't speak and sat together, waiting for the people outside to arrive. Not long after, a foot appeared in front of Lin Rei and Lin Yun. Following the appearance of the foot, the owner of the foot also appeared in front of Lin Rei and Lin Yun's eyes. It was a young man. He could be considered handsome, but Lin Rei couldn't remember who he was. However, Lin Rei felt a strong killing intent from him. Looking at him, Lin Rei frowned and began to search his memories. He wanted to see who this young man was. Lin Rei was silent. However, the moment the young man saw Lin Rei, he was excited. He quickly walked up to Lin Rei and knelt down. Subordinate Shatian greets Sect Master. "Shatian?" Shaishan's voice entered Lin Rei's ears and pulled Lin Rei back to reality. Why does the name Shatian sound so familiar? Lin Rei felt that the young man's name was very familiar, but he couldn't remember where he had heard it before. Lin Yun, who was sitting at the side, noticed Lin Rei's expression and his face fell. He quickly reminded, "Father, you subdued him in the mysterious Sky Sect." Back then, Shatian was still young. Subdued in the mysterious Sky Sect? Hearing Lin Yun's reminder, Linli was stunned. He raised his head and looked at Shatian. This time, Linli looked very carefully. Adding on the fact that he had subdued Shatian when he was in the mysterious sky realm, Linli quickly remembered this Shatian. "Ah, you brat, quickly get up." This time, Lin Rei completely remembered. Back then, because he had subdued Shatian, he missed the chance to save his wife and child in the immortal world. Shatian didn't disappoint him. He was originally an ant, but now, he had cultivated to the Great Circle God Emperor realm. Sensing Shaishan's cultivation, he wasn't far from the Supreme God realm. Lin Rei also felt that if Shatian wanted to break through to the Supreme God realm, he could do so at any time. "Sect Master, you didn't forget about me just now, right?" Shatian stood up and looked at Lin Rei. Lin Rei was silent. Lin Rei felt helpless against Shaishan's straightforward personality. As the saying goes, see through but don't say it out loud. Seeing that his father wasn't speaking, Lin Yun quickly tried to smooth things over. "Uncle Shatian, you must be joking. How could my father forget? It's just that you've grown too handsome recently. My father hasn't been back for a long time, so it's inevitable that he's unfamiliar with you." Ha ha ha, seeing Lin Yun like this, Shatian laughed and said what he wanted to say. Lin Li's gaze fell on Lin Yun, his eyes filled with admiration. From the way Lin Yun handled things, he was indeed suitable to be a leader. It seemed that letting him be the sect master all these years was the right choice. He retracted his gaze and looked at Sha Tian again. Brat, quickly pack up after this. Who knows, I might have to go to the Holy World after this. Holy World? Hearing Lin Rui's words, Sha Tian was dumbfounded. He felt that he had misheard. You're going to the Holy World? Yes, why? Can't I enter the Holy World? Seeing Shaishan's current expression, Lin Rui was speechless. What? You don't believe me? As a god emperor, Sha Tian quickly retracted his expression and calmed himself down. Sect Master's strength is unparalleled. It's only a matter of time before you enter the Holy World. However, from what Sect Master said just now, you want to bring me to the Holy World. It seems like you want to bring me into the Holy World. Yes, are you willing? Lin Li understood Sha Tian. It would be strange if Sha Tian wasn't willing to help such a warmonger. As expected, just as Lin Rui had this thought, he heard Shaishan's reply. I'm willing, of course I'm willing. I'm already sick of the divine world. I heard that the saintesses in the holy world are very beautiful. Who knows, I might be able to find a wife there. Lin Rui was speechless. Shaishan's request. Lin Rui didn't dare to agree. He thought that Sha Tian would challenge the saintesses and saintesses after entering the holy world. What was going on now? Just as the two of them were conversing, more and more people arrived at the main hall. Ying and Bing were the leaders. When they saw that Lin Rui was fine, they were filled with excitement and relief. Greetings, Sect Master. Everyone bowed to Lin Rui. All of you can rise. Looking at the people below, Lin Rui revealed a smile. He hadn't seen many of them for a long time. Little Tian is back too. Lin Tian's arrival made Lin Rui's eyes light up. Lin Rui was very happy to see this brother of his who had gone through life and death with him. Young master, you're finally back. Hearing Lin Rui call out his name, Lin Tian was so excited that he almost revealed his face. Ever since he knew that Lin Rui had used it, he was so anxious that he went to look for him. In the end, he was sent back by the space-time storm. Although he was injured, after a long period of recuperation, coupled with the abundant spiritual energy and pills in the divine world, those injuries were insignificant. All right. Everyone will leave in a while. Let us brothers have a good chat. Then, he looked down at them. These people could be said to be the mainstay of the Xuanzong sect. The smile on his face disappeared the moment he saw them. His cold and dignified face returned to its original cold expression. This time, I'm sure you all have heard some rumors. This time, I'm going to enter the holy world. Once again, I'm going to take away a large number of disciples of the Xuanzong sect, including the current sect master Lin Yun. What? As soon as Lin Rui finished speaking, the people below were shocked. Their faces were filled with disbelief. What, do you have a problem with that? The commotion below made Lin Rui a little unhappy. No, we don't dare. Everyone fell silent again. Every one of them listened quietly. No one said a word, even though they were puzzled. In a while, I'll ask Yun, to gather the people. This time, the entire Xuanzong sect, except for some new disciples, will follow me into the holy world. However, the sect cannot be without a leader. So, I've decided with Yun that Lin Shan will take over as the Xuanzong sect master. Boom, as soon as he said that, it was like a bolt from the blue that struck Ying's head. At the same time, everyone turned to look at Shadow. They did not understand why Lin Li had made such an arrangement. Sect master, this matter is settled. Seeing that Bing was about to speak, how could Lin Rui not know what she wanted to say? From today onwards, Lin Shan will be the sect master. The sect will kneel, and the sect's protective array will remain. If you don't want to be bullied and want resources, you can only watch as he becomes stronger. In this world of deceit, where only the fittest survive and the fittest are eliminated, you can either become strong and become the undefeatable ruler of this world, or be trampled under the feet of others as a slave. You can be played with or killed by others. As for what Lin Shan wants, it will depend on his own awareness. No one can protect him forever. As soon as he said that, everyone fell silent. Lin Yun wanted to plead for mercy, but he had seen the scene just now. In the end, he chose to keep quiet. Ying had no strength left. The only reason he was still here was because Bing was pushing him from behind, not letting him fall. The next thing is your luggage. After you're dismissed, go back and prepare. As for when you're leaving, wait for my notice. Then, he turned to Lin Yun and said, Yun, the rest is up to you. You can decide what to do. Remember what I told you before. Whoosh. Lin Yun stood up and cupped his hands to Lin Rei. Understood, Dad. So, then, he turned to look at the day below and said, Let's go, little Tian. Accompany your brother for a walk. After saying that, his figure flashed and appeared at the entrance of the hall. Lin Tian glanced at Lin Rei, then flashed and left with Lin Rei. Pa! The moment Lin Rei left, Ying couldn't help but fall to the ground. Her face was pale. Thinking about Lin Rei's words, she had the urge to stay and protect her son. Sister, Lord Husband had no choice. After all, Xiao Shan's cultivation is too weak. Even if he's not compared to Yun, he's still inferior to Xian, Although he didn't want to say it, looking at Ying's appearance, Bing couldn't help but say it. She wanted to refute, but as soon as she opened her mouth, it was as though she was choked by something. After Lin Rei left, Lin Yun sat on the throne and looked at the crowd below. He said, Cultivation. Since father has said so, then everyone should go and prepare. In front of a palace, Lin Rei and Lin Tian appeared. They had complicated expressions on their faces as they looked at the palace. Astral River Hall. Young master, this is where Xian, cultivates. However, it seems that she has been in seclusion for 300 years. Her cultivation wasn't weak at all. I wonder what level she has reached after so many years. Lin Tian, who stood behind Lin Yun, spoke. Is that so? Honestly speaking, even as a father, he didn't know. Thinking back to the past, his heart was filled with regret. He didn't care about his children at all. He instantly released his divine sense and communicated with Lin Xian, who wasn't cultivating. Xian. When one was cultivating, if one forcefully barged in, it would definitely cause one's cultivation to go berserk. However, communicating with one's divine sense wouldn't cause any side effects. In the Astral River Hall, a woman sat cross-legged in the center. She was clad in Taoist robes and her hair was untied. Her countenance was delicate and her features were pure. She was a peak-grade beauty. However, the only thing that could be said about her was her ice-cold countenance. When paired with her countenance, it caused others to tremble in fear. Who is disturbing this seat's cultivation? Her originally tightly shut eyes abruptly opened as a sharp light flashed through them. The coldness in her aura intensified as a heaven-shaking killing intent gushed out from her body. What's going on? Lin Yun could feel the heaven-shaking killing intent. Lin Rei froze as he cast a puzzled glance at Lin Tian beside him. I don't know. Xian-Er's aura seems to have already stepped into the initial phase of the Divine Monarch realm. After carefully sensing, Lin Tian was completely dumbfounded. How long has it been? The cultivation of a junior almost caught up to him, an elder who fought alongside her father. Something's not right. This aura seems to be the heavenly strength of ice. Lin Rei didn't understand. The heavenly strength of ice was a cultivation art that Lin Rei found from the system. Those who cultivated this cultivation art would have to endure bone-chilling pain every day before they could succeed. Because of this, Lin Rei placed this cultivation art at the highest location in the library. But why would it appear in his daughter's possession? Also, from the level of her cultivation, it seemed that she had already reached the 5th level. Chapter 1154. Lin Ray truly couldn't understand. He remembered that the cultivation art he imparted to his daughter back then wasn't the mystic ice heavenly art. But now, this sort of technique seemed powerful, but it was actually quite powerful. However, because he had to endure the bone-chilling frost every day, as Linley saw it, this sort of technique was simply too cruel, and so Linley had sealed it away. He would never have imagined that in just a short period of time, his daughter would actually cultivate the cultivation art he sealed away. Lin Ray, who was at the side, was also stunned. He also didn't know about this. He had been out for a period of time and didn't return to the sect. Hence, he was completely unaware of this point. This lass, why, Lin Ray had a helpless expression on his face. He really wanted to know what this lass wanted to do exactly. Within the astral river hall, Lin Xian'er had just awoken from her cultivation. But from her cold countenance, one could tell that she was extremely enraged, so enraged that she wanted to kill someone. She was in the midst of cultivating and was at the most crucial moment. Who knew that she would be disturbed? More importantly, the greatest taboo of cultivation was to be disturbed by others. But now, someone actually dared to disturb her. Furrowing her brows, she opened her eyes and stared at the entrance as killing intent gushed forth from her. I don't care who you are. Since you disturbed this seat's cultivation, you have to pay the price. Standing up, she released her cultivation. The temperature in the surroundings was already below zero, but at the instant Lin Xian'er released her cultivation, the entire space seemed to be frozen solid. Boom! The sealed doors abruptly opened as Lin Xian'er's silhouette abruptly appeared at the entrance. Her gaze swept through the surroundings, and at the instant she saw Lin Ray and Qin Wentian, her killing intent was instantly retracted. Even her cultivation art was retracted to the extreme. And as for Lin Ray, he could feel the killing intent and coldness radiating from Xian'er. Lin Ray started, but at the instant when he saw her retracting her killing intent, his frozen countenance eased by quite a bit. From Lin Xian'er's performance earlier, it was already clear that the mystic ice heavenly art had an effect on her. Father? Lin Shan's reaction was extremely similar to when he first saw Lin Ray. Both of them spoke in a probing tone, as though Lin Ray's appearance was something inconceivable. With regards to this, Lin Ray felt extremely guilty in his heart. His stiff face squeezed out a smile as he nodded, I'm back. Swish. As the sound of Lin Ray's voice faded, Lin Xian'er's to Lin Ray transformed. She stretched out her hands, and hugged Lin Ray. Tears fell from her eyes and she said in a choked voice, You're finally back. I haven't seen you for a long time. After he finished speaking, his words became unclear. In the end, he completely let go of the pain. At the side, when Lin Tian saw this scene, he retreated to the side and didn't disturb the parents. He sat there quietly and didn't say anything. Woo 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 woo, Lin Ray's heart-wrenching cries drifted into his ears. Each and every cry was like a sharp dagger that pierced into his heart. Since young, other than Lin Ray, this daughter of his was the most resolute. But now, she had become like this. Lin Ray understood that everything was his fault. He stretched out his hands and hugged Xian'er, gently stroking her back and silky hair. Tears flowed from his eyes as he said, Cry, cry, cry. Everything will be fine once you cry it all out. Just like that, he quietly listened to Xian'er's cries. Lin Ray didn't stop her. He understood in his heart that it was a good thing for her to let go of all the grievances that had accumulated in her heart. Time slowly flowed by. Lin Ray didn't know how much time had passed. He only knew that he was standing at the same place. The sun had already set and Xian'er's cries gradually stopped. The entire Xuanzong sect was bustling with activity because of Lin Ray's orders. At this moment, Lin Shan also knew of Lin Ray's orders. This order was a merciless blow to him. He didn't think that his father would do such a thing. He really wanted his mother to plead for mercy, but Ice stopped him, telling him the pros and cons of this matter. Lin Shan was still considered sensible. After hearing the pros and cons, he didn't say anything. In the end, he could only silently accept this fact. In the Astral River Hall, Lin Rei sat on the steps in front of the hall. Lin Xian'er was lying on Lin Rei's lap. In addition, the golden rays of the western sun shone down on Lin Rei and Xian'er. This scene was extremely peaceful. Looking at his daughter lying on his lap, Lin Rei spoke in a gentle voice, "Xian'er, I remember that when I left, I didn't give you this mystic ice heavenly force. But why did your cultivation art change after I returned? Not only that, the mystic ice heavenly force you're cultivating has already reached the 5th level." Standing up, she looked at her father with a resolute expression on her face. "Father, you weren't around and I couldn't see you. But every time you encountered danger, your daughter couldn't help you. With Brother Yun taking care of the sect, I felt that I was too useless. So I wanted to cultivate faster. Well, back then when I was in the library, I saw the mystic ice heavenly force sealed by you. So I broke the seal, and after reading the introduction of the mystic ice heavenly force, I resolutely decided to cultivate this cultivation art. Am I right?" Lin Rei finished Lin Xian'er's sentence. "Yes." With regards to this, Lin Xian'er didn't hide it and boldly admitted it. At this moment, Lin Rei panicked. He didn't expect that the reason why Lin Xian'er wanted to cultivate this cultivation art was because of him, her father. When he thought of how painful it would be to cultivate the mystic ice heavenly force, Lin Rei couldn't bear for his daughter to continue cultivating. "Xian'er, why don't we do it this way? If you want to cultivate, Father will give you an even stronger and better cultivation art. You should give up on cultivating this cultivation art. This cultivation art requires you to endure too much pain every day. Father can't bear for you to suffer every day. Do you understand? During these years, the reason why Father worked so hard was because I didn't want you to suffer, I didn't want you to be burdened. I wanted to be able to protect you all. Father. Lin Xian'er suddenly spoke. Lin Rei's voice rang out, his eyes were filled with bewilderment as he stared at Lin Xian'er. Daughter wishes to cultivate this cultivation art. A resolute expression flashed in Lin Xian'er's eyes. For 300 years, daughter had to endure the pain every day. After all these years, daughter has already gotten used to such pain. In addition, daughter has comprehended many things from this cultivation art. Daughter wishes to continue cultivating, daughter, wish to cultivate. Lin Xian'er's words directly choked Lin Rei, causing him to have no way to continue speaking. All right, Father, let's not talk about this matter anymore. Lin Xian'er didn't wish to linger on this matter for too long. A smile appeared on her face as she changed the topic. Oh right, Father, why did you come back this time? How long will you be staying? Ai. He understood Xian'er's meaning and let out a long sigh. This time around, I came back to make some arrangements. In the future, I will bring you all to the sacred world. What? Sacred world? Father, could it be that you? Lin Xian'er's eyes were filled with disbelief as she stared at Lin Rei. She could vaguely guess something in her heart. One must know that one had to be a half-step saint at the perfection paragon stage, or a half-step saint, directly breaking through to the saint realm. Now that her father said that he would be heading to the sacred world, didn't that mean that her father's cultivation base had already transcended this world? Staring at the shocked expression on his daughter's face, Lin Rei smiled proudly. He stretched out his hand and stroked the bridge of his daughter's nose as he spoke in a doting tone, "Little lass, you are truly intelligent." With regards to the matter of his cultivation base, Lin Rei didn't intend to conceal it. And with regards to his daughter and his family, Lin Rei had no need to conceal it. You are right. Your father's cultivation base has already broken through to the saint realm, surpassing the limits of this world. The reason why I haven't left yet is because I intend to bring you all to the sacred world. Hence, this time around, follow Father. When we arrive at the sacred world, Father will find some cultivation resources for you. allowing you to break through to the 7th level of the mystic heavenly art of ice faster. After that, Father will find a high-grade cultivation art similar to the mystic heavenly art of ice that doesn't have any side effects. In that case, you won't have to endure the bone-chilling cold every day. I can enter the sacred world as well? With regards to Lin Rei's words, Lin Xian'er didn't pay attention to the latter part of his words. She was focused on the matter of entering the sacred world. Of course you can. At this moment, Lin Tian, who had been standing at the side silently all this while, walked over. He continued, young master's strength can never be compared to the strength of this world. Back then, young master brought our Xuanzong sect to the immortal world from another world. At that time, we had yet to meet the requirements to enter the immortal world. As he spoke, Lin Tian stared at Lin Rei, his eyes filled with worship and respect. Uncle Tian. Upon seeing Lin Tian walking over, Lin Xian'er hurriedly stood up and clasped her hands in greeting to Lin Tian. With regards to Lin Tian's existence, she was extremely clear. Ever since she was born, she knew how important Lin Tian's existence was. Hence, no matter if it was Lin Shan or her, or even Lin Yun who had already broken through to the Empyrean realm, they no longer dared to be impudent in front of Lin Rei. Ha, Xian'er, I haven't seen you in so many years. You are so beautiful. As the saying goes, a single glance is enough to topple an entire country. Compared to those so-called holy maidens and goddesses, you are so much more beautiful. Ha! Lin Tian's words not only caused Lin Xian'er to laugh, even Lin Rei was amused by Lin Tian's words. He understood Lin Tian very well. Lin Tian had never been one to bootlick. But now, he was actually acting like this. Lin Rei felt somewhat bewildered, but he liked the current Lin Tian very much. Uncle Tian must be joking. Lin Xian'er bowed as she spoke humbly. However, from the smile on her face, one could tell that she was very fond of such praise. Father, argh. A scream of agony rang out from Lin Xian'er's mouth. The originally cold atmosphere, after Lin Xian'er's scream, plunged to the freezing point. And this sudden surge of cold qi naturally originated from Lin Xian'er's body. Not good. Upon feeling the coldness, Lin Rei hurriedly hugged Lin Xian'er in his embrace, instantly releasing his cultivation to resist the cold qi. Little Tian, hurry up and seal this place up. Don't let anyone pass through here. Those who disobey will be killed without mercy. Right now, the side effects of Xian'er's cultivation art have appeared. This process is somewhat long, I have to use my own cultivation to suppress it. Upon hearing this, Lin Tian's countenance turned heavy as he nodded his head. He understood the dangers involved. Don't worry, just leave this to me. After speaking, Lin Tian didn't stay any longer. His silhouette flickered as he vanished from his original location. Not long after, the entire Jianghe Hall was sealed by a terrifying energy. Hee, little Tian, this fellow isn't simple either. To think that he actually learned such a terrifying sealing technique. After glancing at the seal, Lin Xian'er lowered his head and stared at his daughter who was wrapped in frost. This lass. Lin Xian'er sighed. The mirage spirit blood fire instantly rushed out, transforming into a weak wisp of energy that was controlled to the extreme by Lin Rei. After which, he placed his hand that was wrapped in the mirage spirit blood fire onto Xian'er's back. Swish! The mirage spirit blood fire entered Xian'er's body. Under Lin Rei's guidance, the mirage spirit blood fire began to circulate through Xian'er's meridians. Although the heavenly force of ice was terrifying, it was still nothing in front of the mirage spirit blood fire. With the circulation of the mirage spirit blood fire, Xian'er's body, which was originally ice cold, suddenly regained a trace of warmth. This lass is not bad. She has courage, I like it. The voice of the little dragon suddenly rang out. In the next instant, the little dragon appeared beside Lin Rei, its gaze landing on Lin Xian'er. You bastard, since you're here, you better think of a solution for me. How is my daughter? Is there any way to resolve the flaw of this cultivation art? Looking at the little dragon, Lin Rei seemed to be grasping at a life-saving straw as he asked. Looking at Lin Rei, the little dragon hesitated for a moment before speaking. There is, but you have to wait until you enter the sacred world. The system's scripture depository will allow you to access the second level of the cultivation art. Over there, you will find the solution to your daughter's cultivation art. The second level of the scripture depository? Lin Rei stared at the little dragon in bewilderment. He had entered the system's scripture depository many times, but he had never seen a second level of the scripture depository. Yes, the second level of the scripture depository. With regards to Lin Rei's question, the little dragon rolled its eyes. Who said that the scripture depository only has one level? Although it's only one level now, when you enter a higher dimension or when your cultivation reaches a higher level, the scripture depository will appear. You haven't seen it before. See, after obtaining the system for so long, you still haven't figured out the layout of the scripture depository? Lin Rei was speechless. With regards to the little dragon's question, other than being speechless, Lin Rei truly didn't know how to describe his current feelings. With regards to the system, what he knew now was merely the tip of the iceberg. If he wanted to understand the system, he still had a long way to go. Just as Lin Rei was in deep thought, the originally unconscious Lin Xian'er suddenly moved. Hurry up and return, don't delay my treatment of my daughter. Now that he knew and had a solution, it was useless for the little dragon to stay here. Not only that, the little dragon's soul was in a corporeal form and others could see it. Heartless. Within the system, the little dragon couldn't help but grumble. However, Lin Rei couldn't hear it. He retracted his thoughts and lowered his head to look at his daughter, his expression filled with concern. Xian'er, how are you? Are you feeling better? The mirage spirit blood fire was still roaming freely in Lin Rei's meridians. Under Lin Rei's control, the mirage spirit blood fire wouldn't harm Lin Xian'er. Chapter 1155. I'm fine. I'm fine, father. The current Lin Xian'er was already much better with the help of Lin Rei. Upon hearing Lin Rei's concern, she opened her tired eyes and smiled tiredly at Lin Rei. After that, she closed her eyes once more. It was as though she had been bitten to the bone by the frost. Even with her cultivation base and the help of Lin Rei, she was exhausted. After replying to Lin Rei, she fell into a deep sleep. Looking at his daughter who was sleeping soundly, Lin Rei's brows were tightly knitted together. His countenance was extremely unsightly. He found it hard to imagine how she managed to endure such pain. Thinking back to the past 300 years, how many days and nights did she have to endure such inhumane pain every single day? Lin Rei's heart clenched in pain. He believed that even her mother, Shadow, didn't know what Xian'er's situation was. In fact, even her mother didn't know what Xian'er's cultivation base was. As for Lin Shan, Lin Rei no longer held any hope for this son of his. Looking at his daughter who was sleeping soundly in his arms, Lin Rei retracted the mirage spirit blood fire and didn't disturb her sleep. This time, it could be considered over. But, what about tomorrow? The day after tomorrow? What about in the future? This pain accompanied her every day. Although she said she was used to it, who could get used to it? Sigh. My pitiful daughter. Lifting his hand, he gently stroked Xian'er's hair. His eyes were filled with pain and reluctance. He truly couldn't imagine that Xian'er was doing all this for him, for the sake of helping this father of hers. Thinking about it, Lin Rei's heart felt stifled. If he had a choice, he would rather transfer this pain to himself. He didn't disturb Xian'er and entered the system. Although he knew that he would be able to find a way to meet Xian'er after entering the sacred world, he couldn't endure it any longer. He couldn't bear to see Xian'er suffer such pain. In the space where the little dragon was still sitting on top of the pool as usual. However, its gaze was fixed on Lin Rei. It was as though it knew that Lin Ray would come to look for it. You brat, you still can't hold it in. The little dragon's words left Lin Ray's mouth, and he nodded. You know why I'm here. Say it, I don't want to waste words. You know me. He went straight to the point. He didn't want to waste time. Ha! The little dragon was already used to Lin Ray's attitude, and the smile on his face never faded. He said softly, your daughter's situation is a bit troublesome. You also know that the pain brought about by the cultivation method is eternal. Unless you find something that can restrain this cultivation method, or a medicinal pill, or find a type of divine flame for your daughter, perhaps this will help your daughter escape this pain. Of course. There's another one. With that, the little dragon continued, I've already told you about this method. As long as you enter the holy world and enter the second floor of the system scripture pavilion, you'll be able to find the method to save your daughter. There's no other way. Really, there's really no other way? Lin Ray couldn't bear it. He knew that what the little dragon said was basically true, but now that his daughter was in so much pain, he really couldn't bear to see her like this. Looking at Lin Ray's painful expression, the little dragon couldn't bear it and let out a long sigh. To Lin Ray, he was family. He didn't want to see Lin Ray like this. After pondering for a moment and hesitating, he looked up at Lin Ray and said slowly, actually, there's a medicinal pill. Although it can't get rid of this ice, it can at least restrain it. At least it won't be so painful when it flares up. What? There's. Tell me quickly. Lin Ray, who originally thought that he had lost all hope, heard the little dragon's words, and his eyes that had lost all hope were reignited with hope. He looked up and took a step forward, grabbed the little dragon's shoulders with both hands, and said excitedly, tell me, what kind of medicinal pill is it? All right. It seemed that the medicinal pill that he was going to talk about was very troublesome. The little dragon seemed to be very hesitant, but when he saw the hope in Lin Ray's expression, he finally opened his mouth and told him what he knew. The medicinal pill that I'm going to tell you is called the heart-burning flame. Although this heart-burning flame is a type of medicinal pill, it is also not a medicinal pill. What do you mean? Lin Ray didn't understand what a medicinal pill was, but it was also not a medicinal pill. Moreover, why did this heart-burning flame sound so much like the name of a flame? Even though he had hundreds of doubts and couldn't understand, as long as he could help his daughter, he had to get his hands on the heart-burning flame no matter what it was. Seeing the puzzled look on Linley's face, Xiaolong chuckled, his eyes dim. This sort of heartburn flame is made from the heart blood of one's loved ones, as well as a deity-level flame. However, the medicinal ingredients required for the heart-burning flame are very rare. But, after saying that, the little dragon, who was originally smiling, curled his lips into a devilish smile. Lin Ray's heart skipped a beat and he instinctively felt that something bad was about to happen. Since you have the system, you naturally don't have any shortage in this aspect. As long as you purchase it from the system, you will naturally be able to start refining the heart-burning flame for your daughter. Moreover, I guarantee that with a first-grade sacred grade pill refining technique, you should be able to refine this heart-burning flame. Lin Ray was speechless. Now, Lin Ray understood that after all this time, he finally had a bad premonition. So this was what it was worth. However, as long as he could save his daughter, he wouldn't hesitate even if he had to use his life, let alone redeem it from the system. All right, tell me. What do you need? Straightforward. The little dragon had already expected Lin Ray's decision. Immediately, he didn't hesitate and directly blurted out the refining method of the heart-burning flame and all the medicinal ingredients required. Heart-burning flame, second grade sacred grade. It is used to suppress the cold poison. It requires the blood of the heart of the person who consumes it. 9 nether sacred lotus, sky bamboo grass, million treasures spirit spring. 100,000 years of yellow lotus seed essence. It can only take effect after refining with divine fire. After refining, it needs to be consumed when the cold poison flares up. It can only be used once to suppress the invasion of the cold poison. After saying that, the little dragon hesitated for a moment and then said again, however, this kind of pill can only suppress your daughter's cold poison for 3 years. After 3 years, the cold poison will rush out again and return to its original state. It will flare up once a day. Even so, you still want to refine it? However, from the little dragon's point of view, there was no need to go through so much trouble. He could do it as long as he entered the sacred world. However, in Lin Rei's heart, 3 years was enough. As long as he didn't let his daughter suffer, it would be worth it even if he lost everything, let alone the blood of the heart and exchange points. Lin Rei's resolute expression was his best answer. Regarding this, the little dragon didn't say anything else. He nodded and left. Ding, the host needs to purchase the medicinal ingredients for the heart-burning flame. It will cost 61,350,000 exchange points. Does the host want to continue the exchange? Ding, the host's exchange points are insufficient. Does the host want to choose to buy on credit? The conditions for buying on credit are the same as before. In order for the host to repay within the stipulated time, the host will need to use the host's life force and lifespan to offset it. Ding, the exchange ratio is 1/100. 1 day will offset 100 years of lifespan. Ding, the host wants to continue purchasing the medicinal ingredients for the heart-burning flame? The system's voice echoed in Lin Rei's mind. He had used the system's exchange method before, so he didn't hesitate. Even if it was time to repay the debt and he didn't have the ability to do so, so what? His lifespan was already at its limit. Let the system deduct it. Without even thinking, he directly agreed, purchase. Ding, currently purchasing the medicinal ingredients for the heart-burning flame. Does the host need to? Ding, currently deducting the host's exchange points. Ding, the host doesn't have enough exchange points. Currently buying on credit, please wait. A series of system notifications rang out in Lin Rei's mind. Lin Rei wasn't vexed at all. His face still carried a smile as he looked at his daughter who was sleeping soundly in his arms. Xian, don't worry. Dad has already found a way to suppress the frost. Soon, very soon, you won't have to endure that inhuman pain anymore. After saying that, the image of Lin Xian's happy expression when she no longer had to endure that kind of pain surfaced in his mind. Time passed by bit. Perhaps it was because he was buying on credit. The time taken to purchase the medicinal ingredients was much slower than usual. Ding, purchased 18 medicinal ingredients for the heart-burning flame. The medicinal ingredients have been placed into the system's storage space. Does the host need to check later? Ding, due to the purchase of the heart-burning flame, 61.35 million exchange points have been deducted. Does the host need to check later? Ding, due to the purchase of medicinal ingredients for the heart-burning flame, the system owes 61.36 million exchange points. Does the host need to repay the debt within 3 years? If the 3 years are up and the host is unable to repay the debt, according to the previous agreement, the system will use the host's life force to recover the debt until the host pays off the debt. Ding, due to the host's one-time credit of over 60 million, the system has specially rewarded the host with a chance to draw a lottery. The system hopes that the host will continue to work hard in the future and allow the debt to reach a new high. F***ck me, are you kidding me? Owe money and even reward the system with a lottery? And even F***king reach a new high? The system's reward and punishment system had completely shattered Lin Rei's understanding. However, this wasn't considered a loss. Although he owed over 60 million, at the very least, he had saved his daughter. More importantly, he had also received a chance to draw a lottery. As such, in addition to the reward from the previous purchase of the one-way teleportation formation, he now had 2 chances to draw a lottery. Come to think of it, it seemed that he hadn't drawn a lottery for a long time. Just as the idea of drawing a lottery was born, Lin Rei forcefully stifled it in the cradle. The most important thing now was to refine the pill so that he could enter the Holy Realm and completely solve the problem of his daughter. Thinking of this, he raised his head and looked at Lin Tian outside. With a thought, he transmitted a message to Lin Tian, "Little Tian, I will start refining the pill in a while. As for entering the Holy Realm, don't be in a hurry. Wait until I come out before making a decision." Lin Tian, who was originally bored to death in the outside world, heard the voice in his mind. His expression froze for a moment before becoming serious. He nodded and replied, "Don't worry, leave this matter to me." That's good. Remember, when I am refining the pill, no one can disturb me. Anyone who disturbs me while I am refining the pill will be severely punished." Yes. After doing all this, Lin Rei no longer paid any attention to what was happening outside. He trusted Lin Tian very much. As long as Lin Tian was present, it would be wishful thinking for anyone to break through the seal no matter who it was. Moreover, although Lin Rei was a Saint-tier formation master, he still needed to spend some time to break through the seal above his head. If it was like this for him, there was no need to mention the others. Everything had been prepared. All that was left was to concoct the pill. As for the method to concoct the heart-burning blaze, the instant Xiaolong told him about the pill, it also transmitted the method to concoct the heart-burning blaze into Lin Li's mind. Glancing at his daughter in his arms, Lin Rei had no intention of putting her aside. With a casual wave of his hand, a huge cauldron suddenly appeared in the empty space in front of him. Wang! A buzzing sound came from the huge cauldron. It was as if it was expressing its excitement. "It has been a long time since I have refined a pill. Lin Tian, I will let you have a taste." Looking at the huge cauldron, Lin Rei said and immediately took out the primal chaos dragon spear. "Phew, it's fine. It won't hurt. I just need to prick it once." That's right. Just one prick will do." With one hand, he pointed the spearhead at his own heart. With a resolute expression, he exerted force in his arm and pierced the spearhead into his heart. Poochie! The sound of flesh being pierced rang in Lin Rei's ears. Following the sound, the pain spread to Lin Rei's entire body. Hiss! The pain spread to his entire body. Lin Rei, who originally had a calm expression, suddenly grimaced in pain. Cold sweat broke out on his forehead. It really hurts." Feeling the pain coming from his heart, Lin Rei had the urge to bang his head against the wall. In the past, when he was fighting with others, he wouldn't feel like this even if he was injured. Now that he was making a move, thinking about it, Lin Rei stopped thinking about it. It was too embarrassing. There was no one else around him. Otherwise, his reputation would be ruined just like that. Thousands of thoughts flashed through his mind. He exerted force in his arm and pulled out the long spear. He casually placed a jade bowl on his chest. The purple blood flowed out from his chest. The moment the blood flowed out, the wound caused by the primal chaos dragon spear started to heal at a speed visible to a meatball. In the blink of an eye, the wound was healed. There wasn't a single scar left. Inside the jade bowl, there was only a single drop. Only this purple drop of blood was present. This scene made Lin Rei feel a little helpless. The sacred body is really abnormal. In just an instant, the wound was healed. This was the primal chaos dragon spear. If it was any other divine artifact or sacred artifact, it wouldn't be so easy to cut open Lin Rei's body or get a drop of blood from his body. Now that he had the blood and the most important medicinal catalyst, the next step was to refine the heart-burning flame. As the saying went, before refining pills, one had to burn incense and take a bath to calm one's heart. However, he was in a hurry now. Those complicated etiquette were thrown to the back of his mind. He placed the jade bowl by the side. With a thought, he took out the 18 stalks of medicinal herbs he bought from the system. He followed the order of refining the heart-burning flame and placed them by the side. Looking at the row of medicinal herbs and his own blood, if any of these items were to be thrown into the deity world or the sacred world, it would undoubtedly cause a storm of blood. These few items were hard to come by. They were one in a million existences. Who wouldn't want them? Especially Lin Ray's drop of purple blood. Even though it was just a small drop, if it was refined by a god monarch, it would most likely break through to the peak late-stage god emperor realm. Chapter 1156. The violet light from the flower shone brightly, illuminating the entire astral river hall. What was even more mysterious was that this drop of violet blood didn't have the stench of blood. On the contrary, it emitted a refreshing fragrance that caused one to feel extremely comfortable. Just by smelling it, one would be able to feel their cultivation base slowly rising. Although the increase in cultivation base was extremely small, as the saying goes, no matter how small a fly is, it's still meat. Also, for a drop of blood to be able to do so, one could very well imagine how powerful this drop of blood was. Wait a little longer. It will be done soon. Glancing at his daughter in his embrace, he no longer hesitated. His expression was resolute as he lifted his hand. The mirage spirit blood fire instantly gushed out, enveloping the entire cauldron. At Lin Ray's current level, he could concoct pills without a cauldron. But now, Lin Ray was in his embrace. He was deeply aware of how powerful the mirage spirit blood fire was. He was afraid that he might injure Lin Xian'er. Preheating was something an alchemist would be imparted to them when they first started learning. No matter what level they reached, preheating was still something they couldn't do. There was one point that could be ignored. For alchemists who didn't use a cauldron, they could directly concoct pills without preheating. As the cauldron was preheating, Lin Ray was multitasking. In his mind, he repeatedly simulated the concoction method of the heart-burning flame. Although Lin Ray was extremely confident in his own concoction skills, he still needed to spend some time to ensure a successful concoction. Let alone the fact that the heart-burning flame was concocted for his loved ones. Hence, he couldn't afford any mistakes. In his mind, the concoction process of the heart-burning flame was repeated over and over again. Time and time again, Lin Ray simulated the process to the extreme. In the outside world, the preheating of the alchemy furnace had also finished. It was as if he had calculated the time. After the preheating of the alchemy furnace ended, the deduction in his mind also stopped. He came back to his senses and threw the 9 nether sacred lotus directly into the alchemy furnace. He controlled the illusory spirit blood fire and began to refine it. Given Lin Ray's pill concoction skills, in addition to the simulation of the heart-burning flame in his mind, he was extremely familiar with the tempering of the 9 nether sacred lotus. It was as though this pill had been concocted countless times by Lin Ray. Pu. A strange sound came from the alchemy cauldron. Lin Ray frowned as he infused his spiritual energy into the cauldron to investigate the 9 nether sacred lotus. In his mind, the scene in the cauldron appeared clearly. A ball of illusory spirit blood fire was in the cauldron, and the 9 nether sacred lotus was surrounded by the illusory spirit blood fire. Wisps of green smoke came out of the 9 nether sacred lotus. What happened? The strange state of the 9 nether sacred lotus made Lin Ray very nervous. According to the results of his deduction, the 9 nether sacred lotus shouldn't be in such a state. Lin Ray was extremely nervous. Furthermore, he could not afford to lose this medicinal pill, so he was especially concerned about it. As long as there was the slightest difference, Lin Ray would be nervous to death. Pu, the strange sound became more and more obvious. Lin Ray became more and more anxious, as if his heart was about to stop. His mind was tense to the extreme. Brat, relax. Don't be nervous. Calm your mind. Only with a calm mind can you think things through. The little dragon's voice suddenly appeared in his mind. And the little dragon's words woke Lin Ray up. His body trembled slightly. The nervousness from before slowly calmed down after the little dragon's words. Only with a calm mind could he think about what was going on. The consciousness cultivator thought about the 9 nether sacred lotus. Thinking about the existence of the system, he said, investigate the 9 nether sacred lotus. Ding, okay. Please wait a moment. Receiving Lin Rei's order, the system appeared and began to investigate the 9 nether sacred lotus. It had to be said that the system was still very good. It had been a long time since Linley had had the chance to use this kind of probing ability. Afterwards, after his training had increased, he had not used this ability. Now that he thought about it, it was really a waste of resources. Sighing, he stared at the 9 nether sacred lotus. As long as there was something wrong with the sacred lotus, he would stop in time. This kind of medicinal herb was not something that could be found on the streets. Ding, investigation complete. Would the host like to check? Nonsense. Hurry up. Lin Rei could only roll his eyes at the system's inflexible question. But there was nothing he could do. After all, this was the system's program. He couldn't change it unless he could surpass the system one day. But Lin Rei knew that when that day came, he wouldn't need the system anymore. Ding, please take a look. As soon as the system's voice fell, a screen appeared in front of Lin Rei. On it was a picture of the 9 nether sacred lotus. And next to the picture, there was an introduction of the 9 nether sacred lotus. The 9 nether sacred lotus is of the Een attribute. It grows beside the 9 nether river and is nourished by the 9 nether chi and the water of the nether river. It takes 10,000 years to form, 100,000 years to grow, and 1,000,000 years to bloom. It is a 6th grade sacred medicine. 6th grade sacred medicine. The introduction of the 9 nether sacred lotus confused Lin Rei. He had heard of sacred medicine, but what the hell was a 6th grade sacred medicine? He had never heard of it. But now that he understood the introduction of the 9 nether sacred lotus, Lin Rei understood what was going on. The 9 nether sacred lotus was of the Een attribute, and Lin Rei's illusory spirit blood fire was of the Een attribute as well. It was the most Een and evil in the world. It was stupid to use it to refine the 9 nether sacred lotus. Forget it. Since I know this, let's change to another flame. As he said that, the illusory spirit blood fire's blood red color turned gray the moment Lin Rei changed his mind. The temperature of the flame and the illusory spirit blood fire only increased. The Hongmeng flame was obtained from the system after Lin Rei ascended to the realm of the gods. As he liked the illusory spirit blood fire, he didn't use it. He didn't expect it to come in handy today. Compared to the Hongmeng flame and the illusory spirit blood fire, although the Hongmeng flame was slightly better, the illusory spirit blood fire was a growth flame. Therefore, the illusory spirit blood fire was stronger. The Hongmeng flame was produced in Hongmeng. It was the most young flame. Perhaps it was the best to refine the 9 nether sacred lotus. The facts proved that Lin Rei's guess was right. With the appearance of the Hongmeng flame, the abnormality of the 9 nether sacred lotus disappeared instantly. It was replaced by the normal state of refining. In the furnace, the 9 nether sacred lotus, which was still the same as before, melted the moment Lin Rei changed it to the Hongmeng flame. In the end, it was refined by the Hongmeng flame. Not long after, the 9 nether sacred lotus disappeared from the flame. It was replaced by a blue, thumbnail-sized drop of refining liquid. Retract. Using the retract technique, Lin Rei's left hand sucked towards the furnace. The liquid in the furnace instantly rushed out and finally fell into the jade bottle that Lin Rei had prepared. With a pa-da sound, Lin Rei's anxious heart relaxed a little. I finally finished refining a medicinal ingredient. Thinking back to what had just happened, Linley couldn't help but sigh. He didn't expect that after not refining pills for a while, he would forget the most basic thing. Thinking about it, he sincerely expressed his gratitude to the little dragon. If it wasn't for the little dragon's reminder at the critical moment, he would probably still be confused now. The sky bamboo grass was an existence similar to green bamboo. However, the spiritual energy it emitted made Lin Rei a little jealous. Having learned his lesson from the 9 Abyss Saint Lotus, Linley had learned his lesson. Before refining, he would first learn the attribute, name, and age of the ingredients before he began to refine them. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy, and you will never be defeated. Just like the 9 nether sacred lotus, if he didn't investigate, he would never have thought that the small and inconspicuous sacred lotus was actually 1,000,000 years old. As for the sky bamboo grass, it looked very unremarkable and was quite old as well. It was at least 500,000 years old, and its grade was lower than the Saint Lotus. As such, the prize, a grade 4 Saint Herb, was also a rare item. After succeeding a few times, Linley began to let it go. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, 30 hours had passed. The moonlight appeared in the horizon, and as time passed, the morning sun appeared in the horizon. Linley spent the night in the midst of his forging. As a Saint Realm expert, Lin Ray's spiritual energy was abundant. Although the refining time was slightly longer, he could still withstand it. In the past 30 hours, Linley had refined 17 different types of medicinal ingredients. Right now, he only had one type left, the yellow lotus essence. Linley didn't use his probing abilities on this type of ingredient. It wasn't that he didn't need it, but because the yellow lotus seed essence was something that Lin Ray had used before. This item was an existence that had a neutralizing effect and refining great medicines. 100,000 years old was already considered very old. In the past, when Lin Ray was refining, the best yellow lotus seed essence was only 10,000 years old or tens of thousands of years old. This was the first time he used a 100,000-year-old one. At the side, 17 jade bottles were filled with tempering liquid. Looking at his achievements in the past 13 hours, a smile appeared on his face. In his embrace, Lin Xian'er hadn't woken up since yesterday. It was as though she was tired. Or maybe it was because she had been cultivating for a long period of time, and the person she trusted the most had left her side. Hence, she slept very soundly today, very soundly. Lowering his head, he glanced at his daughter in his embrace before once again entering the state of tempering. Now that the night had passed, it wouldn't be long before Lin Xian'er entered the state of pain again. He had to concoct the pill before the pain arrived. As he thought of this, he instantly activated the Hongmeng fire. Under the effect of his mental energy, the yellow lotus seed essence entered the cauldron. Boom! The instant the yellow lotus seed essence entered the cauldron, the Hongmeng fire enveloped it and began the final step of tempering. In his spiritual sense, under the tempering of Lin Ray's Hongmeng fire, the essence of the yellow lotus seed essence was extracted from its shell bit by bit. This process was very short. Because of the quantity of the yellow lotus seed essence, it didn't take too long. Pa! A crisp sound rang out. The instant the liquid essence of the yellow lotus seed essence entered the jade bottle, the tempering process was completed. Right now, all the preparations were complete. The only thing left was to wait for the pill to be formed. At the entrance of the Xuanzong Sect, in the originally peaceful skies, numerous silhouettes suddenly appeared, rushing towards the Xuanzong Sect with great speed. Right now, the one guarding the entrance was still the Scarlet Flame Tiger. Originally, Lin Ray had planned to replace it, but after thinking that it wouldn't be able to stay here for long, he didn't say anything. Now that experts had appeared in the skies, the Scarlet Flame Tiger naturally wouldn't ignore them. Lifting its head, it stared at the intense auras emitted from the black dots as a killing intent flashed in its eyes. Awoo! A howl of rage rang out from its mouth, directed at the black dots in the distance. Immediately after, the husky's body changed rapidly as it roared, returning to its original appearance bit by bit. 100 zhang, the Scarlet Flame Tiger's body returned to half its original size. A 100 zhang tall Scarlet Flame Tiger appeared before the entrance of the Xuanzong Sect. Fuck, so big? On the side, Xuelingtian's eyes widened when he saw the Scarlet Flame Tiger's sudden transformation. Regarding this, the Scarlet Flame Tiger didn't have Xuelingtian. It wouldn't be a big deal if it was just fooling around, but now that unknown people were attacking, how could it act as usual? After returning to its original form, the Scarlet Flame Tiger's body emitted the undying flames that it had refined from Xia Feng. The Scarlet Flame Tiger's aura soared, becoming extremely powerful. What's going on? Who? How could the Scarlet Flame Tiger find its original form? The instant the Scarlet Flame Tiger returned to its original form, its aura was sensed by many experts in the Xuanzong sect. Their gazes instantly gathered on the entrance, feeling curious. Yes, they were curious, not worried. Everyone was well aware of the Scarlet Flame Tiger's cultivation. Even Lin Yun couldn't guarantee that he would be its opponent, let alone in the divine world. In the distance, the black dots that were rushing over from all directions were stunned when they saw the Scarlet Flame Tiger fighting behind the Xuanzong sect. Fuck, what's going on? What's that stupid tiger trying to do? Damn, it can't be that it's treating us as enemies and wants to eliminate us, right? At this moment, everyone who came to the Xuanzong sect had the same thought. Once again, Lin Rei knew who they were from their auras. When Linley was planning to return to the God Realm, he had asked the system to tell all his disciples and subordinates scattered around the God Realm to return to the profound sect as soon as possible. The black dots in front of the Scarlet Flame Tiger's eyes were none other than the disciples and subordinates that Lin Rei had summoned back. In the Empyrean River Hall, the disciples and subordinates naturally felt the auras of the Scarlet Flame Tiger. However, when Lin Rei felt the aura of the Scarlet Flame Tiger, a trace of pity appeared on his face. TSK, little guy, it's not that this sovereign doesn't want to help you, but your eyesight is too good. I've already forgotten the auras of little you and the others. Let's see if you can survive this time. A devilish smile appeared on his face as he focused all his attention on the pill concoction cauldron. Hongmeng flames rushed out as runes after runes appeared in Lin Rei's hands. The 18 bottles of tempering liquid were already empty. Gather for me. A light voice rang out from Lin Rei's mouth as the runes in his hands began to change. The moment the runes changed, the 18 drops of tempering liquid within the pill concoction cauldron started to gather together. Although the speed was somewhat slow, this scene was exactly what Lin Rei wanted to see. Lin Rei didn't realize that when he shouted, Lin Xian who was in deep sleep, had awoken. Rubbing his sleepy eyes, he lifted his head to look at Lin Rei. When he saw Lin Rei's actions, he felt a little nervous. The greatest taboo when concocting pills was to be disturbed. He didn't want his actions to disturb his father's pill concoction. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.